Welcome to Eternal Rambles, where the Eternals ramble eternally. My name is Aaron.
I'm Kodig.
This is Klain.
Yes, my brother has joined us at last.
For the first time!
One of us! One of us!
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
Family.
Yeah.
Family.
So we were supposed to have Ryan last time. He had to bounce for reasons. And so this time we decided, you know what? It's been like 9 ever since we had a third person in the podcast. We don't have a plan this time. We're just kind of gonna go, and then I guess future editor Aaron will have to create some kind of subtitle for the podcast, depending on what we talk about.
Poor Aaron. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
It's
Whatever
gonna be
happened
like
to that poor asshole?
It's gonna be like a Family Guy's real moment. All right, this is good. This joke fell flat. We just talked about bananas for 5 minutes. That's not funny.
Dude, the last podcast with Star Wars, literally half my time editing was literally just like Googled, like fact checking the bullshit that's coming out of our mouths.
What we said was true.
All right,
Apparently.
now is the life jump actually possible, or was that just a gimmick?
Okay, no, there was
It's actually not, because specifically I found this out.
in Star Wars convoluted,
Lightspeed,
contradictory canon.
In order to have light speed, you have to enter hyperlanes, which are specific lanes in space, and that's the only way to go through light speed, which means unless they were in the hyperlane, straight up could not have happened. Because also the way that works is, it avoids everything in its path, meaning it's like a fucking vortex.
But there's another book that literally states an object going into hyperspeed could destroy literally anything.
Yeah, but this is
like hopping
newer
into the
canon,
on-ramp for the highway,
as
but
I
then
always
expecting
say-
you to collide with something.
As I always say, newer canon is always more important than older
you
canon.
could literally find sources for any contradictory points. Like for example, like saying like Vader's one of the most powerful Force users literally ever, and then you have statements from George Lucas himself saying, "Oh, Vader's like 80% the powerful as Sidious." Like,
Yeah, I just don't trust George Lucas.
why?
Yeah.
He's the creator.
That don't mean shit.
He's often wrong. Like take Tolkien for example. He sits and talks about trees for fucking ever, and then you're just like, oh yeah, trees are the most important part of Middle Earth. Yeah, ignoring the fucking like entire power structure of everybody who supports those trees.
Yeah, but Tolkien also won't tell us literally anything about the 2 other wizards, the 2 blue wizards.
Yeah. You know these other 2? Yeah, they're there.
They exist.
Read
I've actually forgotten the name.
read my Bible. Wait, why did you write a Bible? It's called The Silmarillion. It's a series of short stories. Some of those short stories aren't good. He's like, whatever. Damn, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, mine's flashing too.
Yeah.
What?
I guess I'm gonna get a 3rd battery for these fucking microphones.
Okay, we're gonna halt right there. Pause real.
Battery empty.
Hopefully enough of what we said got picked up on your mics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if we're using this intro or the previous one. We're gonna find out because batteries, how do they work?
No one knows except Klain, apparently.
It's not that hard.
Didn't you know that?
it's
It's
See,
a chemical
he-
solution dipped inside of a metal that then sends an electrical current and traps it.
Thanks, Dr. Stone.
Thanks, bro. Hey, I love that show.
Hey, that's the name of the show.
Senku! We need to make smartphones!
Why is he screaming? Was it the guy's death anniversary or something?
No, he's on a cliff.
Here's what
Anyway,
you
it doesn't matter.
Here's what you do.
They were getting black powder from a volcano. It's fine.
Literally the scene where it's like, he's like, oh, it's like, don't you need anesthetic? No, it's fine. He doesn't need anesthetic, right? No, I don't need anesthetic. I'm about to do a surgery literally on him. The faces they make.
Fine. Yeah.
Just put a rock.
In front of this guy's like 7-year-old sister.
Oh, dude. The thing I love about the show is it gets all into the nitty gritty, and then it's just like, okay, this is too detailed. We need to simplify this a little bit.
So like, there's this balance of like we want to be very clear to the audience. This is entirely possible, but also we're gonna use words that the audience is not necessarily gonna understand to explain everything.
The second they brought in chemistry, it gave me flashbacks to class, and I was just like, look, all I learned was how to measure moles, and I still don't understand how a mole fits in an atom. It's a fucking animal. Dude. How does it get that small?
Chemistry was my lowest science grade. I know,
Because they don't make it fun.
Chemistry was my highest science grade.
Look at these fucking formulas. It's like Y12, B17.
See, I was
like,
good at that.
there's long chains. It's like, what the fuck does this mean?
See, I was good at that. It was fucking biology. I just could not get down in
Dude,
biology.
if you hate biology, you hate yourself. You are biological. It's understanding yourself.
I mean, this is already understood that I hate myself.
From a certain point of view.
Listen. So
We'll have so many cells, we'll make a tissue.
we'll have so many tissues, it can almost make the tears go away.
So if it's not clear, we don't really have a plan for this one. We're kind of just talking at one another and seeing what happens.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens. So going
I
back.
did want to talk about gaming genres, though. That's like a legit thing.
We told Clay, you were going to have a topic for this one, and Clay's like, I got it. A
I
topic.
gotta yeah. Because here's the thing. If I go over the genre that I like, all of you are going to be like, no, but so I love roguelikes.
Oh, okay.
Roguelikes are awesome. I get not everybody likes the freaking CBT of going back after you die over and over again.
If there is an element of every one of your death gives you some kind of permanent progression of some kind, I can deal with it.
If it's a permanent progression.
Whether it's a world state progression or static, or even just knowledge of the world.
As long as you're not literally just banging your head against the wall for no reason.
For me, it's character progression. Like, for example, there's one roguelike that I enjoy, and that's this, it's called Other Side.
Okay.
Where you play as, like, these, like, you play as, like, daughters.
Yes, use your words.
There's this mother, right, that died and gave birth to clones of herself that are called daughters, and there's 3 different ones. There's Guns, Warrior, and Rogue.
I played the game. I played the game Bioshock.
Exactly. I was about to say that, Bioshock. Yeah. And they're also Big Daddies, right?
No, there's no men.
That are
no men.
There's the plague
But
doctor.
there's bigger sisters, though, right?
They do get bigger, yeah.
And
each sister is different, but they can inherit stuff from their dead sisters.
Yeah, genetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so you can, like, if a sister dies, you can give her power to the next sister.
But how do they inherit it if there are no men? Who's porking who, sir?
It's asexual.
There are aspects of this game you're not explaining.
It's asexual.
That's what the roguelike element is for.
Oh, okay. So there's SpongeBob.
Gotcha.
It's another SpongeBob
Can you reproduce
game.
my budding?
I want to be perfectly clear. I want to be perfectly clear here. I do enjoy this game. I haven't gotten past the first boss yet.
What a scrub.
Yes!
What are you, a games journalist?
I'm not good at roguelikes. I'm not good at them.
Hey, neither am I. I still beat them.
I like playing.
Nobody's good at roguelikes.
Yeah, Clay beats them into submission.
Yeah, nobody's good at roguelikes.
Claims over here like, I'm just going to min-max for the next 70 hours.
You have to min-max. I love min-maxing.
Well, some people don't enjoy min-maxing.
Okay, listen. Min-maxing is not as hard and as sweaty as you think it is. It's just understanding systems and games and figuring out how to exploit them in the best way.
I don't know, you're quite sweaty.
It's so funny that you say nobody's good at roguelikes, because when PokeRogue came out, Smallant posted to Twitter, oh yeah, I beat the game on my first run.
Yeah.
Smallant over here just putting people in their fucking place.
Because he told you there's 3 ways to get popular as a streamer. Be funny, be skilled, be good looking. And unfortunately, only 2 of those ways you can actually modify. You can take comedy classes, and you can get plastic surgery. You can't get more skilled than you.
Unfortunately, I'm screwed. I would not. I mean, I'm kind of funny.
VTuber.
Oh, VTuber?
No, he's not a VTuber, but like, it's like if
You can change your look by being a VTuber, is what they're saying.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know what my model would be?
Which is why we're VTubers.
quintuple G cup.
Yeah. Me, but with big hungaloos.
Massive habungalookungaloos.
But no, so my favorite aspect of roguelikes is card games. There are a lot more card game roguelikes out there than just regular.
Because they're way easier to program.
I've loved card games since I was a kid.
Yeah.
A lot of them have similar mechanics.
Old school Yu-Gi-Oh fan
follow
here.
Basic formats where there's a cost to the card, something the card does, whether combat oriented or effect oriented, and something it does when it enters or leaves the field. And then all of them have a field of play. Like, they all follow the same basic concepts and rules, even if it's a different game with a different system. They all have the same interactions on how they enter and leave the field. And one of the things I like about games is, like, a good example is Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire, you have passive effects. You have cards that you start with, cards that you gain through events and or beating progression. And as you scale the Spire, you either reach a point to where, okay, I can try to replay this battle as much as possible, but they either outpace me in their strength growth, or I cannot pierce through their defense. And that's where you have to find the min-max progression system. You have to figure out, and it gives you a map. It tells you what you could run into. So you have foresight into what you could possibly encounter and build a pseudo plan, but it's all chance based, and that's what I love about certain roguelikes. Is sometimes your luck is good and you easily beat it, or your luck is bad and the only way for you to beat it is to execute the amount of skill that you have. And a lot of games that I've been grabbing, a lot of deck builders, they run off of similar systems. There's one called Wild Frost that I've been playing on and off. It pisses me off way too much, and it's because a lot of people play it modded. I think it kills the challenge of the game to play it modded.
Yeah, that's what mods are for.
Okay, yes.
But I want to have.
Where's the big titty mod?
I want to have fun. Mod. I don't want to have fun. Fuck mods.
You got one mod that's literally Alien Isolation, and they modded out the alien. It's a sightseeing tour now.
Yeah, man, I love going to the spaceship with a flamethrower. Do you know what it is? It's a giant room where you have a flame implement and you're playing a woman. It's basically Cooking Simulator. So
just wander around your apartment. It's the same experience.
Yeah, just get yourself a candle and a can of Axe spray and you're good. And so
give me flashbacks to high school gym class.
We have to purify the smell. Just get some sage. No, Axe and fucking a lighter.
Because you remember back at our high school where like you had like the generic gym lock, and then you had like a tiny door off the side that was like the wrestling team's locker room. It's like, why?
Yeah, no, quite literally, there was a whole class system in high school when it came to sports. It's like, you're just doing PE, you get the shitty fucking janitor locker room. And then they're like, you guys are bringing in revenue by playing football and weightlifting tournaments and all that. You get this special deluxe room with its own water fountains and its bidets and your special towels that we go and wash every day. Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
Sweat, bring your own towel and wash it at home.
The tennis and golf teams sharing a locker room.
Yeah.
And it was like way off to the side too, like all by itself.
No, and then they have a full gymnasium with weights and shit. And one of the big problems that I always had was like, okay, well, maybe I'm not in sports, but I don't want to pay for a gym membership because, I'm a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
You have the weights. If I just follow the rules, I should be able to lift the weights. No. I went in there, I went with two of the dudes on the basketball team, started lifting weights. And this was the difference between the high school I met you at and the high school I was before.
Yeah.
The high school I was at before, they didn't give a shit. Anybody could go use the weights. They didn't even care if you put them away or not because somebody would always be there lifting weights. But then I went over there and you have to get a key card to get in, but the key card readers don't work because one of the dudes got mad and punched the key card.
Sounds about right.
And so you could just get in, and I was just lifting weights. And same thing, wild hair, very overweight. I was in tennis, so I was in a sport.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the specific sport that lifted weights.
Yeah.
Even though any sport should be able to use the, health benefiting system of weights and treadmills and fucking equipment there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in there just freaking bench pressing 160, no issue, just trying to get warmed up.
Yeah.
And an administrator walks in and they go, "Hey, are you supposed to be here?" And so I just shot back, "Are you supposed to be here?"
sounds like you.
And he's like, "Well, yeah, I work here." I was like, "Cool.
I go to school here."
And so he's just like, "Well, are you in sports?" I was like, "Yeah." "Which sport are you in? Does it matter?" They're like, "Well, this is a facility specifically for the basketball players." I was like,
why are basketball players lifting weights in the first place?
Because I just saw the football team in here. "Well, yeah, they commissioned to use the space. And nobody's using it now." "Well, yeah, so what's the problem with me using the space now?" They're like, "Well, you could just get a gym membership." "I don't have a job. I'm in high school. I'm a sophomore in high school."
Which means most places won't even hire you because you're not 16 years old yet.
A job. Are you fit shaming me? And they're like, "What?" "No, you just can't use the system here. We have somebody coming in."
Oh, I think I think your mic's dead.
Yeah, it did. It died.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh my god.
Mine's still going.
All right, 1 second. 1 second.
Fucking hell.
Get another battery.
I wonder how much of his own story that just not got picked up because when predominantly talking.
I know. Probably a lot.
See, I didn't have all these problems in freaking high school.
Yeah, it's 'cause
Literally,
you
when
were
I was
in
like,
sports.
Well,
Mr.
I
Sport Man.
was in tennis all 3 years that I was in high school.
Yeah, I was in tennis the one semester
all
we
3
met.
years of high school.
The one
I
semester
was
we
only in
met.
high
I
school
was in
for
tennis.
3 years. Y'all all know this.
But you graduated?
Yeah. I took two. Remember, I was homeschooled for that 1 year.
Uh-huh.
But then we found out that wasn't.
Am I the only one of the group other than like Aaron that like completed high school in one go?
I was homeschooled 1 year, right? And that wasn't an accredited program.
No, I guess
so.
Ryan
My
did,
sophomore junior year, I took
Ryan,
14
yeah, Ryan did like Mad Dragon was at the school for 4 years.
No, I'm thinking my family. Never mind.
Yeah, no, our friend group for the most part, as far as I'm aware, except for Kodig.
It's literally
Yeah,
just it's literally
only the two brothers out of my direct family graduated high school. Out of everybody, legit.
In case it hasn't been stated before, I'm pretty sure I have, but just to double clear, like Clayton is my brother, but he's my adopted brother, so he has a whole other side of the family. So it's like, I don't have just two random brothers that I've never mentioned before.
It's all good.
Nah, like literally. So like, I took 14 classes my sophomore junior year. 14. I took double classes. I literally took double classes and like a bunch of internet stuff that I had to do. I did graduate on time. It's just I had to double up on classes.
It's whatever, dude.
But yeah, no, all 3 years of high school, I didn't really have this.
State mandated education is.
I would literally do off season with the football team. That's just what I did.
Literally, what I used that weight room when I was in gym like twice that entire year.
And
Most of the time it was really just dicking around on the football
it's
field.
only
the
at
coach
our
didn't
school
care.
that I had to fight administration to do anything at that school, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't find it okay.
Yeah.
Because it's accommodations for the students, any student, and they should be pushing for that. Mm-hmm. If a regular student who is overweight and goes, I want to better myself, and I'm going to use the resources available to me, i.e. the school that they are mandated to be at for 10 hours of the day, 5 days a week, like, they should do that. If I have a free period and I want to go, like, lift weights before I go home, like, all the power to you.
I've never had a free period. I don't know where people just get these free
I
periods
had free periods,
from.
and I still.
You give up on life and you go to the minimum credit system. That's how you get
Oh,
free
I
periods.
see.
Yeah, that's what I had to do when the school just refused. I wanted to go into, like, I keep being told I should be an engineer. I wanted to go into architecture.
Yeah.
I signed up for all of that. They're like, oh, we're full. And then not even 2 weeks later, half the students in that class dropped out of it. And I was just like, so what was the point of me not being able to do it? Because I would have definitely kept that class.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, well, now we're under class. We had to merge classes, which means we lost a teacher. If we'd only had like 3 or 4 more people. Yeah, cool. Hey, guess what? Me and 10 other people who wanted to go do that class would have stuck with that class. I know for a fact these guys would have stuck with the class, but because we weren't given, like, I just signed up for school. They didn't give us a timetable on when we could sign up for classes or whatever. And most of these kids were repeat kids from the previous year who just automatically signed up at the end of the year, which I think is bogus, because if they shoe in these kids at the end of the year, and then they go into the class, and then, like, in the first 2 days go, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I don't want to do this. They should allow those other students. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's not that big of
This
a
is
behind.
This is architecture. I was wanting archaeology.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were making build. There's too much math in this. I don't want to do this.
It's true.
Yeah, it is, but it's easy math. It's literally geometry.
It's just geometry, which is the easiest math. on
Maybe
the
a
planet.
little bit of physics for support structure. A little bit, like the freaking tip of the iceberg of physics.
Yeah, like dipping your toe.
The only reason I loved physics is because whenever I got an actual good teacher for physics, he used the funnest things to explain physics. Roller coasters and freaking race cars.
Mythbusters.
Legit. We watched
Remember, kids,
Mythbusters
the
every other class.
Yeah.
Like clips, granted. It's not like, okay, we're going to watch season 1 of Mythbusters for the 40 minutes. No, he'd play a 15-minute clip of them doing an experiment using physics, explaining their math, and then go, cool. We're going to do that same experiment. We're all going to get wooden cars. We're all going to make trails.
Nice.
And then after we made all of the trails that we wanted to do, and then made ramps, and then he even went and got a whole Hot Wheels set from Walmart the same day. and explained how loop-de-loops work and the inertia and forces on them. In order to keep yourself from dropping on the apex of the loop-de-loop, you have to have a certain amount of push force in order to stay stuck on the track. Otherwise, gravity will overpower your force.
Yeah.
And it was good.
This is the most fun podcast. Yeah, I'm talking about physics, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Astrophysics.
I was so good at science. I really was. Fuck chemistry. Biology, physics, marine biology is what I ended up taking my senior year because they give you like a bunch of different options for your senior like science class. When I'm like looking at all these options, like I like water, I like animals, marine biology.
Interestingly enough, I had to be forced to take art. Like they were like, "Oh, you need 2 artistic credits."
Yeah, you need. It's not an artistic credit. It's a. I think it's.
They're art credits.
Do you want to know what's
I think it's like
extremely funny?
What?
So you're supposed to have in
it was two.
our school system anyway.
Okay.
My previous school was not like this.
Okay.
In our school system, you have 2 supplementary electives, 2 sport electives, and then 2 art electives.
From what I remember, it was 2 foreign language credits.
Yeah.
Physical education credit.
Yeah, but foreign language was required.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like require credits. So it's like these are the extracurriculars. Like it's 2 language credits, a physical education credit, a fine arts credit, and then because you were giving three elective classes every year.
Yeah.
No, the school I graduated from, you were required to take 2 art credits.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I had to take theater 1, which I fucking hate theater.
How
and
dare
art history.
you have
because
insulted?
you didn't have a good group.
You have insulted me, Ryan, and Mad Dragon,
yeah,
sir.
me as well, dude. So I did theater.
I have told you guys on several occasions I don't like theater.
You just had bad people.
Yeah, well, no, it's not that. It's just I had stage fright as a kid, so it's like.
Well,
You
buck
had-
up.
You
I
had
didn't
bad
wanna-
people then.
I
If
didn't
you had
wanna-
if you had
yeah.
stage fright, you get over that in the first 2 weeks.
Oh, I got over that in karaoke, singing to drunk
So
people.
at my old school before I joined,
Yeah.
I had been in theater since quite literally elementary school.
Yeah.
I went to a charter school that was a fine arts charter school. After that, I got into middle school, and the second that they heard, "Oh, you were in The Littlest Wise Man," which amazing. I'd never done a real stage production before, which is why I have 0 stage fright. Also, why I curse a lot in public, because believe it or not,
Don't care.
after being prim and proper on stage, you went backstage and everybody was just like, "We got to get this out of our system before I have to go be the shepherd's son again." Shit ass, damn it, fuck. And
See, that was actually never really a thing in my theater troupe.
and so, like,
I mean, there were guys that just had the most potty mouths ever, but that's because our theater troupe was also comprised of like football guys and like all like we had like so many. It was a weird
it's
hodgepodge
funny who they pull
of
in
people.
because anybody can do theater in any capacity. And I was trying to get into tech theater.
Yeah.
Because I'm goofy, but I'm big and whatever.
No, it was
And-
it was the tech theater people that were just the most
Yeah,
bonkers people.
They are. And so that's what I was about, because I was like them. I hung out in tech theater. But the second I was like, oh yeah, I went to a charter school and I've done Quieter. I've been in The Littlest Wise Man. I've done this. I've done that.
I've done quieter.
Go fuck yourself.
See, it's funny because like you said, like you've been in since like elementary school. Of the schools, because I went to one elementary school, one middle school, one high school. Y'all did not, I'm aware. Theater was not an option to be taken until I hit 8th grade, like as a class.
Wow.
Like
That's typically how it's
like my
supposed to
middle
be.
school had like you could audition for like the school musical in middle school, and like in high school obviously theater, but also the school musical and also the one act play and everything like that.
Yeah.
But like elementary school, nah.
So this is why I love that I went to the charter school that I did. So me and my other sister were bullied a lot, and it's because we're imaginative and creative and blah blah blah. She was very nice. Damn, nominee, fuck. Just rip ass. Yeah, and she stared at my face. Yeah,
You were
like I voted for you.
yeah, we're letting her stay in the room for recording purposes, but the second she acts up, she's getting kicked.
Yeah. Does this not count as acting up? Rip ass.
No, because
they
that
use
was picked up on the
rip-
microphone.
that's
No,
not
she's being
bashful.
chill. She's
Yeah.
being chill.
So, the second we went to this charter school, it was full of the same weird kids that we were. So, when we got
Yeah, Clayton's a weird kid.
auditioned, when we got auditioned to do stuff, I originally, I hated choir. mostly because she was all like, "Oh, you're a tenor, so I need you to sing higher, sweetie." And then like I went through puberty entry stage number 1.
Dropped from tenor to baritone to bass.
And I went all the way to low alto baritone, and then she was like, "Okay, well you can hit like second tenor if you really try, and so I need you to just try." And so I'm over here like, "Ah," and they're trying to like hit the
This is
fucking
in elementary
notes.
school?
Yeah,
She
elementary
shouldn't
school.
have. She shouldn't have been trying to pressure. You should. All of them would have been tenors.
And here's the thing.
She should have been praying to God you were a baritone.
Here's the thing, though. We had a whole bunch of other kids from upper grades
Oh, okay.
who were in choir, and we were the new kids. So out of the entire batch of other kids my age, so we were in 5th grade at the time.
Yeah.
And then 6th grade was when we moved into actually doing competitive choir. In 5th grade, she was trying to grab her tenors.
Well, it's true.
I
It's
know.
true.
And after she designated me a tenor, 6th grade, that's when I went through my octave drop. And she's like, "Okay, but I really need you, like, I don't need you to be the best tenor. We have one best tenor over here. He's tenor 3, blah, blah, blah."
Tenor 3.
Yeah.
Never heard that before.
It's so tenor 1, tenor 2, tenor 3 can almost hit soprano shit.
Yeah, in my choir, we didn't bother going with anything beyond 1 and 2 because literally at a certain point you just you're an alto. Or
I
you're a
wasn't
soprano.
in choir. I was not an artistic person, and I can't sing.
So he's over there duetting with one of the soprano ladies. Of course, she has to be one of the lower soprano. But
That's so funny because I was that kid in like literally my choir teacher to be like trying to teach the girls and he'd be frustrated and was like, "Hey Aaron, hit this note for me," and I would just do it.
So-
and then my voice finally dropped when I hit senior year. I went, "Fuck!"
Yep.
Because my mom like thought like, "Oh, you're like an Irish tenor. You're somebody whose voice just never drops." She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that'd be so good. I'll have a huge niche." No.
yeah, not at all.
Never mind. I'm still a tenor, but like I can no longer hit the soprano notes. I'm so sad about it. I used to.
I had too much testosterone.
I will never forget the day when my middle school choir teacher, who would also help in our high school musical productions, went, "Hey Aaron, hit this note for me," and I couldn't.
Yeah.
I will never forget that day. And he went, "Oh, it's okay if you can't hit it." I'm like, "No, it's not okay that I couldn't. It's not okay."
3 weeks ago, what the fuck?
I was
Freaking devastated.
I was distraught.
Dude, my voice dropped so... No, wait, that is a lie. I lied. Not on purpose. I was in choir in, like, 7th, 8th grade because it was required to be in choir.
Uh-huh.
And even back then, I had deep.
Right.
I was like, I don't fucking know what the things were because like
Okay,
I didn't pay
okay. So
attention.
for guys, it's tenor, baritone, bass.
I wasn't bass.
Well,
It was probably
it's
baritone.
tenor, alto, baritone, bass.
Alto is usually considered like female.
Alto,
though.
yeah.
Like it's soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, bass.
I was probably baritone. I wasn't bass. Wasn't that deep yet. That wasn't until high school.
Yeah, bass is like freaking acredito.
Those are the people that like the subwoofers pick up. That's what the bass is.
Depends on the weapon and the band.
It is so funny because, like I said, like I was like that, like the top tier tenor. Like there was another guy, same grade as me. He was like the top
Aaron over
tier.
here. I was like,
He was.
number one tenor.
I was an all region choir. I literally. I was
5%.
I was chair 3.
I'm in the top percent of
That
tenors.
is top
I'm in the top
5%. No offense.
And the only reason I didn't make it all state choir because I literally just never. Literally, I would do 0 preparations, wouldn't care, show up, half do it, get all region choir, and then just wouldn't go for the all state.
You know what really sucks?
Yeah.
We never got to compete at state for 2 reasons. We couldn't register as a regular school to compete because being a charter school, we get the benefits of a private school, but we still get money from the government like a public school. The reason charter is different is because parents pay an application fee for your kid. Your kid gets vetted, and then if you can behave, because that's the other thing, they get to choose their students that come in.
Yep.
And granted, it's not like a private school where it's just like, oh, we need alma mater teachers. No, it's just like we're teaching fine arts. We need kids who know how to behave and not be rambunctious.
Actually, we'll learn.
Yeah, and are there to learn. I learned more at that school than I did even in high school. And in fact, some of the classes I took in high school were just relearning the same stuff I learned in that school.
Because public schools are not meant for smart kids.
No,
No, they teach only the most
And I hate-
unintelligent, and then
They
they just
teach
and
conformity.
and they leave the intelligent. They don't teach smart kids how to learn.
No. And they also don't help reinforce that which you're already naturally attuned to.
Like, they don't teach study habits at all to smarter students. Because people like me who could just half pay attention in class
And then pass.
yeah, literally. That's why I like my senior year. I literally just checked out and quit. Like, I didn't do the musical that year. I didn't do basically. I wanted to drop a ton of, like, I wanted to quit both theater and choir. Like, I was like, I literally just, my entire enthusiasm for the school year just died.
Yeah,
now, granted, part of that was because, like, 90% of my friends had graduated the year prior.
That's right, but you met us, so that's
That's when I. That's the
Yeah,
year that met Aaron.
I pulled you guys up.
Yeah, that's the year
I'm
that-
sitting here like.
No, I lost ambition the second I had to go back to public school.
I lost ambition the second I had to go back to a different high school for the third time.
Yeah,
That's rough, dude.
Yeah.
that's rough, buddy.
Dude, I kid you not. I literally my
first girlfriend
my
turned into the
sophomore
moon.
junior year, because they were like oh, they considered me a sophomore even though I was a sophomore junior because I was taking multiple classes, but I was like labeled as a sophomore, which pissed me off because I'm like, I'm the age of a junior, but you're labeling me as a sophomore.
Yeah, you're a Jewmore.
Yeah. Anyways, I took English.
Michael
2.
Jumore.
I had to take English 2 and English 3, and they were my 7th and 8th period classes. But it was English 3, then English 2. So I'm over here taking English 3, then going into English 2.
I had to take English 3 and English 4 in the same year, especially after I basically passed English 3. I just didn't get to take the final junior year. And they're just like, oh, finals 25% of your grade. Cool. I would have still made a 70. And they're like, well, you have to take the final to be graded on it. And so if you didn't take it, blah, blah, blah. I hated that school, dude. I hated the administration. I hated everything.
Fair enough.
It's mostly because I didn't have any support from my parents at the time. I had to do everything on my own.
Different parents.
Yes,
Just clarify.
yeah,
different parents.
And granted, they don't. Even though you're a young adult, and I was tried as an adult.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
in high school.
Whole fiasco.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Literally.
It's real eye opener to how shitty the world is.
Yeah.
But after, we're gonna
We're gonna pull back a little bit.
yeah.
There's one thing. That's not what they're talking
This is a
about. Talking about our-
podcast, not trauma dump time. But,
What are we talking about? This is my therapy session.
No, this is how
This
it's
is my
guys.
problem, and
Yeah.
I want to make it very clear that this is going to be your problem for the next hour and a half.
I want you to know. Well, we need people. I'm bringing awareness to this. Guys. This is a public cause to get behind.
My lived experiences.
So anyways, I really like TTRPGs.
No. So looping back to the actual point we were trying to follow.
I said that
so
we didn't have a plan. This is just free
on,
form.
on deck builders.
Yeah.
We've played many different types of both physical, real deck building games, whether
Like all
they're
of
team
us?
or competitive. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And
Like Legendary,
yeah,
Magic,
Legendary is a great
Yu-Gi-Oh.
example.
Yeah.
And
except whenever you would piss off Coding by taking all the cards he wanted for his
Every
deck
fucking
and
time.
doing
I wanted the
like,
Legendary Wolverine.
I swear to God, me and Clayne are really good friends, but we're really similar to
You guys are
people.
such similar people.
When it comes to playing board games, God, we get passionate. And card games, like playing Pokemon with the both of us is...
I'm sorry. I like drawing cards when I get wounds, sir. I have 7 of the Wolverine cards. It only makes more sense for me to have. No, I want to know what to mean. It works best with my deck.
I only use Domino and Forge. That has nothing to do with
No,
wounds.
to be fair, this was before that
Yeah, that
you
was-
discovered
oh, yeah,
that
that's
comic.
'cause, like, that's
No, it literally be a
Wolverine.
thing. I just remember one time you literally be like, "Hey, I want that card," and then Clayne on his turn gets that card. You're
Yeah. Damn, bro, that sucks.
like, "Too bad it's my turn."
This Clayne's over here like, I want to win the game.
That's
I'm
true,
Like,
that
"I'm
is
trying to
true.
fucking beat the villain."
goal is to be the most legendary hero, and I'm not going to let my teammates hold me back.
Got some real Thanos mentality over
That
here.
was literally quite like I've told the story before, but like whenever I tried to learn Yu-Gi-Oh, I was
my
like,
God.
Clayne, teach you how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like okay, I had an Elemental Hero deck and a Neospatian deck. Which one do you use? It's like I like E-Hero. I was like, okay, here's the E-Hero deck. Doesn't tell me the rules. Like I've seen the anime, I know what I'm doing. Tries to use a quick play spell card on my turn because anime rules. I didn't realize I had to set it before I could use it. And I was like, oh, but can I still do that? And Clayne was like, nah, you can't, because I still want to win, even though I'm trying to teach you and get you
Yeah,
to this
Clayne is-
game.
I will say, in high school, I had card games just fucking shut my brain off for trying
Also,
to
like,
teach people
like
things.
so many
It was
people
like
were
Clayne-
so fucking cutthroat.
They were, dude. They were super competitive, and if you play with competitive people and people who are just dirty fucking sweats,
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
you build that mentality because that's all you compete against.
I can't
And
show any.
it's-
I can't show any sign of
Like,
weakness.
you were the one that taught me how to play Magic, and it was like, I was
from-
using my Hound deck versus your Thunder God.
Oh, Karanos.
Yeah, Karanos deck.
With the
And
fake card
Yeah,
that wasn't
here.
even real.
let me play with. Let me play
play a
4
s-
Thunderbolts and win.
I'm like, can I? And my biggest monster is a 3/5 with no effects because I asked Aaron to make me a wolf deck. He was like, "There's not any wolves."
I had just gotten into Magic,
Yeah,
and
I play my god
and
card.
my familiarity was predominantly in Theros and Corset 15, and there was like no wolves in those sets.
No, and I remember, like, even though we all sucked at teaching each other the game, we all went out of our way to learn how to play it separately. And then, like, I was over here with my very crappy allowance, went and bought a couple of the 2020 sets that had just come out. And then Kodig goes and buys, like, 4 or 5 of them. He's just like, look at all these boxes and blah, blah, blah. We're like, okay, well, what'd you get? And he pulls, like, bunk cards from all 4 of them. And I grab one box and I pull, like, 3 gods and a couple of other special limited cards.
yeah.
I was just like, wow, dang, bro. I guess quality is better than quantity.
Dude, I shit you not. My pull rate on any. That's why I don't buy packs. My pull rate is ass. Like,
Back in the day, we were the
Booster
most
boxes
powerful.
for Zendikar,
the most-
and I pulled all 3 of the freaking
Yes.
Eldrazi.
Yes. I
Immediately
remember that.
sell them to get more cards.
Yeah, dude, you were playing the booster box game without even realizing it back then.
I know, dude.
Dude, I remember whenever, like, cause that was like whenever you and I were living together for the first time, and it's just like, oh yeah, a set release. Let's just drop $300 on cards and just pull.
That still makes
back
me
when
cringe.
we could do that.
Yeah, we had the disposable income.
Oh
And
man.
Nowadays, it's like, I don't know.
Back when we didn't have to pay rent, but still had jobs.
don't even want to play the game anymore. Like TCG Player, the video game version, which is basically free to play, you can get anything in the game ever.
You mean Tabletop Simulator?
No, TCG Player.
TCG Player is a website where you
That's
buy
where you
things.
buy cards.
Correct.
Do they also have a simulator?
No, like using TCG Player, there's this mod game system. Anthony,
Nominate, what are you
introduced me
chewing
to
on?
it. Hopefully herself. Damn, bro.
That's
Drywall.
plastic.
It's plastic.
I was hoping she wasn't chewing on a wire or something.
Is that from your laundry basket? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
This is why we can't trust you.
yeah, Anthony introduced me to it. It's this whole website. Granted, now they have.
There's no way that anyone's gonna know who this guy is. You just name drop him.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like he's like 3 times removed.
Yeah, he's a military prison.
He's
manager
in military
now.
prison.
Yeah, he's in
No,
military
he's the
prison.
He's the prison itself.
He's an officer. He has 2 daughters. His wife's a Mormon. Good luck finding him. Like, there you go.
His
Yeah.
email is.
Yeah, his email
Here's
is
his phone number.
AC blah blah
Here's his
blah.
social
Yeah.
security number.
You'll never find
It's a
this guy.
social of his daughter. Yeah, he has a
school that
second
she goes
daughter
to.
now.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he, like immediately after the first one, he's like, "This was great. Let's do this again." Like a 3-bedroom house, was calling me gloating because he came to visit, wanted a hibachi place. Anyways, doesn't matter. But
Back when we thought Terra Stomper was the most powerful monster
Oh my
ever
God,
in Magic.
yeah.
I know.
If it was
Like,
if
oh,
we had
it-
if we had a green deck, Terra Stomper was in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god.
Borderland Marauder, it's gonna be a slide.
Yes, I remember that. Oh my god! Back with my old man stories, how slow I shuffled.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, love
Back
that.
in my
No,
day.
and that was like learning the game at that. I feel like learning more about the game killed like most of the passion of it because then we're just like, oh yeah, there are just infinite combos we can
Yeah,
do.
our decks were
Yeah.
never optimized. It was just what
It
cool
was
things
so
we
much-
discovered
yeah.
with new cards.
It was so much more fun whenever it was unoptimized. But now, like, we got like me who just
Yeah,
like,
you
just-
you definitely because obviously we had do we even have that gamer was like the ceiling to us. He was
Yeah.
like the best. Like he was the guy that knew what the fuck he was doing. So he would always win. Maybe sometimes I could manage
yeah,
to beat him.
quite
like,
literally
in group
is
in group
that
scenario.
gamer.
Yeah. He was the guy that he researched cards, decks, all this stuff. So he was our ceiling. He was like the guy we were trying to get as good enough to be on his level.
Yeah, if there was a meta, it was a meta that he not only knew but improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like years later, like Kodig is like, oh yeah, let me use this website to like look up synergy cards and all this stuff. Oh, let me make this this deck that's a mana ramp deck that has 3 infinite mana combos that I didn't realize were in the deck.
And here's the thing about that gamer. He knows about those things,
Yeah.
but he also understands it kills the fun of the game.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like he just said, I didn't know those were infinite mana combos until I pulled them off. Like I was holding them in my hand. I'm like,
As long as it's my
Holy shit.
turn, I can do it forever.
Yeah.
it didn't even need to be my turn.
So that's why I always. It's also why Yu-Gi-Oh just pisses me off, where it's like a themed deck. In Magic, you could make a themed deck. It doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be optimized. No. But it's like, oh, I want a deck that's like built around this mechanic or this idea, these characters. Like
You could still win 1 out of 10 times, even if you're against a competitive
Well,
player.
every Yu-Gi-Oh deck is technically themed,
But it's like,
also
oh yeah,
include other
I
shit.
have a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Blue Eyes is not even in the deck.
Yeah. Or if it is, they're running 1 copy.
Yeah, and everything else is just like.
And it was just to fill the slot of a
Normal
level 12
dragon monster,
Yeah,
yeah.
normal level 12.
Except for that
dragon monster,
newest Blue Eyes support that just came out that required you to have 3 named copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon in the deck.
Yeah, no. Yu-Gi-Oh is one of those ones that's really fun when you're playing against bots. Like
They just need to do the whole fucking what they did with Harpy Lady, where it's like this card's name is always considered Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician.
Well, that's literally what Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon is.
Yes, but no.
It's always considered Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah.
That's
I got back into it when they added the little hatchlings, like the Red Eyes Bee Dragon
Yeah.
egg,
God,
and
that
then
was
the
forever
Blue
ago.
Eyes
Yeah.
egg, and then the.
Me and Aaron have actually been playing Legacy of the Duelist,
Which basically does not have cards from past 2020.
I'm still riding on the high of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I liked whenever fusions were a thing. The Synchros thing, all right, it's
Dude,
basically
5Ds
fusion
is
with
such a good
extra
goddamn
stuff.
anime.
Clane over here, like, back in my day, we had
Yeah,
fusion
back in
monsters.
my we had fusion, we had
Dude, I actually
I don't know nothing
so I
about these
checked out
synchros.
the first episode of GX in Japanese. It is not as fun as the English
No.
dub. Except
Believe it or
that-
not, as much as 4Kids had crappy voice acting, it did make them way more fun and up to beat.
until you hit 5Ds with Jack Atlas, like, all right, you what, mate? You what, mate? He's like,
I
that's
actually
not his
really-
character at all.
Why are half the characters Australian?
I way prefer that.
Yeah,
I way prefer that. I don't like dub over sub all day long.
Oh yeah, like in 5Ds when Carly gets thrown out a window, so 4Kids literally just fades to black because she hits the ground. You see the
And
indent in the
dies.
concrete. She dies, revives as a Dark Signer, and then attempts to murder the person who just murdered her.
Yep.
5Ds is specifically the anime. Like if you're only gonna watch one Yu-Gi-Oh anime, watch that one in Japanese. It's so good. I see think pieces online nowadays like Yusei is too perfect of a protagonist. He's like, you know what Yusei is? He's the guy that's trying to fix the whole fucking world because it was his father's fault this happened, so he took it upon himself to fix things. Gee, I wonder why he's a too perfect protagonist. It's not like he's gonna solve all the world's problems.
Goku's too perfect of a protagonist, and I don't hear you
No one has
bitching about
ever
him.
said that even
No,
once.
he is not. Goku is a terrible
he's a
protagonist.
No, he's not a terrible protagonist. He's a perfect protagonist
He's a
for the
terrible
show of Dragon Ball. Not a terrible person. He's a little selfish sometimes, but
He's
he's
like, even though
I just thought of it as one big
He's like,
fight.
hey,
Kinda like
Gohan,
kinda like
hey,
everything in my
Gohan,
life.
go fight Cell. By the way, Cell, here's a Sensu bean. Like, what the fuck, Goku?
know.
that is one of the few things that's really hard to defend Goku's actions on.
Hard to defend. You shouldn't be defending that action at all.
Okay,
That man will destroy the
the thing is,
planet.
there's one point. It's like he knows that Gohan, as he is now, was not powerful enough to defeat Cell. He needed Cell to break Gohan in order for Gohan to breach that limit and be able to kill Cell.
And Goku
So-
was too nice to do it because it's his son.
And so Goku gave Cell a Sensu Bean, because even if he didn't give Cell a Sensu Bean, Cell is going to still beat Gohan. It's just gonna get dragged out. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm sorry, like it's Gohan, like in the bridge, it's like, I know my dad threw me to the biggest, baddest wolf in the woods. It's like, Gohan recognizes, again, this is a bridge. In the original manga, it's actually, the anime does a lot of heavy lifting for Goku and Gohan's relationship, because, like, it's just not in the manga at all. No. Like, it's, this, I'm gonna stop, because that's a huge tangent on Dragon Ball, but, like, I can defend most of Goku's actions. The Senzu Bean thing is contentious, but you can understand why he made that choice. Whether or not it was the correct choice, that's for the scholars and the fools.
Yeah, it was a cold-hearted decision, but with the confidence in his own son that he could overcome it.
It was the cruel choice for the right reasons.
So, anyways, I like TTRPGs. I think they're really good.
Yeah.
Keep bringing this up.
I said very clearly this was not going to be a focused podcast.
No, I agree, but I keep trying to bring up that specifically.
Yeah, quick, bring the Adderall.
Anyways, no, I was going to talk about Fire Emblem, because I know Clayton's a big Fire
So I really like...
Yeah, no, I love Fire Emblem. My main thing was TTRPGs. My actual introductory game to the series wasn't Fire Emblem. It's a game called Dragon Force.
Whoa. Do you mean Shining Force?
No, Dragon Force.
Okay.
It's a Sega Saturn
Through the
game.
fire.
No, that's Shining Force.
No, it's not. Hold on.
Dragon Force is that
game.
one band with that really
that
really
game.
difficult
I have
song.
that game. It's in my closet.
Let me pull up my gallery. It's not that game. Whatever game you're pulling out, it's not that game.
There's no Dragon Force unless you're talking about Panzer Dragoon.
No.
The only Dragon Force I know is that band.
Dragon Force is the name of a band. Shining Force is the name of a game.
I mean, is there probably a game out there called Dragon Force? Almost assuredly.
It's literally this. This is a TTRPG called Shining Force. That's this.
No,
Well, not
it
this
literally
one.
says Dragon Force.
Yeah, that's
That's the game I'm
name.
talking about. Sega Saturn,
Incorrect.
Dragon
He's
Force.
lying. Wait. He's
I
lying.
literally have the entire game manual on my
He's a
phone
butthole.
right now. Introductory on how the units work, everything. Geographical chart. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
I just set it down.
You know,
I just set it down.
I was paranoid.
Well, they were just cheating. They were just copying after Shining Force.
It's a Sega property, dude.
To be fair,
Well,
Kodig,
so is Shining Force.
Kodig makes a fair point that, like, the Japanese name versus the English name versus the European name, these could all be the same game, just different names.
Yeah, but in this
said
one,
that as a
the
joke,
whole
but it
goal
could
was to
actually
go
be
collect
true.
these orbs in order to go, like, fight a dragon.
So, Dragon Balls.
No, they're orbs, not balls. The orbs are absorbed, balls are eaten. It's different.
Whoa, now.
Yeah, I know, right? You weren't over here gargling the Dragon Force balls.
He did what in this cup?
So, my introductory to that series is it had a bunch of unit types similar to how Fire
Like
Emblem
Shining
does.
Force,
If you're gonna be a cock, I'm gonna move on.
No, I mean, like, it is like Shining Force. That is what Shining Force is like.
Let me explain my perspective, and then you can go and overshadow it. With
You showed me the picture. I believe you. I was joking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. Pixar, it didn't happen with him. You just can't believe me out the gate.
No,
he just has to
because I
correct me at every
legitimately-
turn.
To be fair, no one in our friend group ever believes anyone without
I
evidence.
legitimately thought you were just thinking of the wrong name
no.
for the game.
It's called Dragon Force.
Yeah, well,
That's why I like Dragon Force the song, because it reminded me of Dragon Force the
Dragon
game.
Force the band, you mean?
No, the song. They have a song and an album called Dragon Force, and I'm right either way. Go fuck yourself.
Like Ninja Sex Party.
Yeah, no, my actual favorite song by Dragon Force is Symphony of the Night, and it's a cover of Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
I'm not shocked by that.
And it has probably the best, most freaking goosebump, brain-frying score ever. Anyways, back on topic.
What topic?
In Dragon Force, you're introduced, you just jump straight into the game. It's like, hey, the princess is being attacked, and here are her escorts and her two dudes. And in the battlefield, very similar to how you see it in Fire Emblem Awakening, they just start talking. You just start running into dudes.
Yeah.
Like, you could be in the middle of a battle play, and then you go up against an actual character, and you have the capability of using dialogue to recruit them or forcing them into submission.
Yep.
So, in the grid format, different dudes could attack at different distances, but you could also do these split maneuvers where you could do a move and then attack, or you just had to move and you couldn't attack because it took up your entire turn range.
Well, that's most TTRPGs.
Now,
it's not all.
One of the things that I liked about how this game executed its movements is you had abilities tied to your characters outside of weapons. Weapons just modified the effects of your abilities. Each character had a class, and then special abilities on each of what their class represented. When you had the normal units that you controlled, they just had their class and their class-specific abilities. Like Knights had their charge assault, and then ground troops, spearmen, just had their regular pike attack and whatever. But in these, you had, what are they called? Priestesses, I think. And they could use lower elemental magic and healing magic. The priestess you start with only has a basic heal spell and a basic element spell.
Yeah.
And so when you try to execute it, one of the things is the element spell takes 2 turns to execute, but it does a lot of damage. While she's trying to execute the element spell, she can't use her healing. One of the big things about the game is when we had the Sega Saturn, we didn't have a memory card.
Mm-hmm.
So
Been there with the PS2.
we had to leave the system on all the time while we were in the middle of things.
That's so funny.
My sister, separate from Aaron's family,
Yeah.
left the game running for 4 days, got all the way to Act 4 in the game, and then my dad unplugged it. And she had a very, very valid crash out
Yes.
because she just lost all of that data.
Dude, that reminds me of whenever my first time beating Kingdom Hearts 1 for the first time. I was in the middle of that, because Ansem has like 16 fucking phases, and there's no.
This isn't even my final form.
There's-
We'll
and
get to it. Fuck!
There's no fucking checkpoints.
Nope.
As you
Not at
know
all.
from our top 10, from our ranking the Kingdom Hearts games video, that boss fight almost single-handedly caused me to not want to finish the series.
Coded quite literally just be like, just get me to where I was, and then give me back the controller, and I'll just go from there.
That's literally what happened when Aaron was helping me play that game. I was like, "Fuck it, get me back."
And
there,
let's not
I'll fight him."
let's not forget, all children back in the day, there was no skip cutscene button on the PS2 version, so you had to watch it every time.
Yeah.
So
Even on the fucking PS4 version, you could only skip to that one part, and then you couldn't skip that.
yeah, but
cutscene.
you didn't have to watch all of them.
Yeah.
Me on the PS2 in Kingdom Hearts 1 having to go fight Rakansum for the freaking umpteenth time, listening to
5-minute cutscene.
his self-stroking dialogue, just freaking him slow jerking himself in front of Sora while you waited to go fight him.
There's
as he
no
beat
way
your
I'm like,
butt.
you're taking Kyrie's heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost had that memorized word for word, and I would mock him the whole time as you say, hold on, let me just go and do my bullshit instant full chain attack combo while
Kyrie's
you can do
inside
nothing. Me not knowing Leaf Bracer exists, me not knowing air recovery exists, me not knowing how to use a single summon, even though I was just like, oh, I have Genie.
Hey, well, was Leaf Bracer in the original game?
Yeah, it was. You had to pick the shield and get rid of the sword in order to get access to it before that fight.
I knew like second chance. I don't know if Leaf Bracer wasn't
Yeah,
still
no, Leaf Bracer
in
was
the
in-
original. Maybe it was like Final Mix. It was, but in the original
I think it was
American
actually
version.
Leaf Guard, or it wasn't called Leaf Bracer.
Yeah.
But it did the same
No,
thing.
but I got to the point where it's like I finally got to the giant ship stage of Ansem for like the 3rd time or something like that, and I was like, my parents were like, okay, come on, let's go, we're going over your cousins, and I'm like, okay, so I just paused the game and just turned the TV off, and I'm like, and then I left, and then I ended up spending the entire weekend over there, so I came home, and I'm like put my hand on it's hot, turn the TV, it's still running, I'm like, I just kept going. I was like, I don't know. I don't remember if I beat it or not that time, but I remember being like so fucked because I had straight forgotten. And then I get home, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And this was by the way, this was a PS2 on not the it was a Slim, but
Okay.
like it was on the floor and it was carpeted floor.
Oh,
So I very nearly could have just
catch the
whoosh.
catch the house on fire.
Oh, dude.
I got so lucky. I'm lucky that A didn't burst into flames. B, didn't wipe my memory card. C, didn't brick the disc.
So, similar experience. I had rebought 2 for the 17th time.
Oh, fuck.
The final time, by the way. So, my sister, separate from Aaron's family,
Yes.
did this thing with games. We would go to Movie Trading Company every other weekend. And it was because my dad loved going and renting movies from them. But he would go rent and then be like, okay, do I like this movie? Cool. Yeah, no. Okay, I'm going to go return it. And then we're going to swap out for another movies. Sometimes he would just straight up buy the movie because he liked it. And it was a lot of... He's the type of dude who loves Adam Sandler and that type of genre of movies. That's why I know a lot of Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we would do is me and Julie would go, and this was our introductory into anime. It had a tiny little anime section in the corner of movie trading, but it was all old anime.
Of course.
So it was like
Saint
Seiya, Sailor Moon, Thundercats, freaking Gundam.
That was not anime.
That's not anime. That's
Thundercats?
American.
That's not anime.
That's
Oh, my bad. The robot one, Voltron.
Voltron.
They have a Thunder one. It's a Thundercat machine. Shut up! Don't.
One of their elements
I do this
is
all the time.
thunder.
Yeah, I love Thundercats.
Why does everything have to be
anime.
freaking similar?
I love 1980s Thundercat anime. So good. Much wow.
What's
To
really
be fair, the 2011 reboot is anime as fuck.
Yeah.
What's really funny though is they had He-Man in the anime section.
Oh, they did?
They had
that's
the
funny.
He-Man Masters of the Universe volumes like 1 through 14.
I just remember seeing the fucking whenever I was up there at Movie Trading Company, like the Wolverine anime movie.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was like it came in like a 4-pack. It was like Blade.
It's funny you mentioned that. So back the first time we got Kingdom Hearts, my dad saw we were in the anime section. We're just going around through Movie Trading Company, and like this is in 2007. Kingdom Hearts 1's been out for a while.
Yeah.
So we see Kingdom Hearts 2, brand new, $60. And it's because it was sealed, limited edition version of it, which he freaking sold. I'll get to that later.
I have my own experience buying Kingdom Hearts 2 for the first time, but continue.
And so right next to it was the Weapon X Wolverine video game.
Nice.
So me and Julie had to choose 2 video games, and I freaking love Wolverine.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love the original 2 X-Men. We didn't get to watch the 3rd X-Men because it had nudity in it until I was like 12.
For like half a second.
It doesn't matter. That's how. When you have parents from the circumstances that we had, it was an understandable.
Oh no, I understand. Like
So-
when I was really young, my dad didn't want like
Remember what happened to my magic cards?
well like didn't want like watching freaking like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel because they were like demons in it, and it's like
Yeah.
Oh my
good
goodness.
God,
Although
they're literally killing them.
There's a
No,
lot of
it's bad.
sex in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy the Vampire.
the Vampire.
Vampire.
Hold on, let me sit up. It's messing up my speech.
Man, I love Fluffy the Vampire. That was a good one.
Fluffy the
The
Vampire.
Vampire is just a pig.
Buffy, what beer?
Dracuham.
I'm a
Whatever,
vampire.
pork slime cow. So, I get the Wolverine game. She gets Kingdom Hearts. I cannot get past the first part of the Wolverine game. It's
course.
when you're Weapon X, and then you're just going and... So they have you go through the stage, and you're supposed to take damage and then go get these containers to go heal yourself. But then, when you're in the Weapon X form, he's really hard to control. My dad beats that stage for me, and I get to the next stage. He literally hops out of a helicopter, lands in the middle of a burning hellscape, and then you fight Sabretooth. Sabretooth kicks your freaking ass. Like, I cannot do anything. I'm missing 2 mechanics of the game.
Okay.
It's the rage format, because you can go into
The Berserker mode.
Yeah, Berserk Rage, and then just do a whole bunch of damage, and it wants you to do it. It wanted me to do it in the Weapon X, and it wanted me to do it in the Sabretooth fight. Didn't know how to initiate it. And you want to know what the control for it was?
R1, L1?
R3, L3.
Oh.
Do you want to know what I didn't understand was a button?
The toggle
R3,
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like R3. All other buttons on the controller
Are labeled.
Yeah.
not R3,
As
L3.
No.
a kid, I was like, I remember the same issue on Uncharted.
Yeah.
Whenever I was a kid, I was like, "What the fuck is an R3 button?"
So after messing around, I was like, screw this. And then it was my sister's turn to use the PS2. freaking loved Kingdom Hearts, dude.
So good.
It was Kingdom Hearts 2 is the first one we got introduced to, and when we found
Which is
out,
probably one of the worst ones to get started with. It's so confusing.
to be fair, no power-ups, no Keyblade changes, no equipment.
Because you're a kid. And you don't...
We blew through that game all the way up to the Dimix fight. Unfortunately, the second one, by the way, not the one in Hades, the one right before the Horde.
The actual difficult one.
Yeah, or sorry, Radiant Garden, whatever.
Yeah, the Radiant Garden, yeah.
So, get on the Bailey, then go and run into him. For the life of us, we're doing the quick events, we're doing everything. We just cannot do enough damage to him in the time required. And so we give up. We're like, this game's impossible. We can't beat it.
Mm-hmm.
She goes and sells it. It's her game. It's her right. Later on, we're in school talking about it, and another kid goes, "Oh yeah, did you change your Keyblades out?" We didn't change your what? Yeah,
this whole section of the menu equipment.
If you press start, you can pull up the menu. There's a menu in that game. Like, we're just raw dogging the game. We didn't allocate no abilities. No, we're running off of pure level up stats.
That reminds me. Y'all know the game Gravity Rush?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever I was playing Gravity Rush, I beat that game. Keep in mind, like, I started the game, stopped playing it for like 6 months, and then went in and finished it, right? So I didn't remember any of the tutorials, right? I went through that entire game without upgrading a single ability. I was at base when I beat the game. And there were so many levels where I'm like, I don't have enough gravity power to do this. How the fuck am I supposed to do it? And then after I beat the game, I'm like, I'm looking through the menu, and I'm like, holy shit, there's level up mechanics in this game.
Ignorance breeds ingenuity.
I hold that proud to this day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I beat Gravity Rush without there's one mandatory upgrade for the tutorial, but like, I beat Gravity Rush.
You're a kid, you immediately forget all of the
exactly.
Well,
I wasn't a kid.
Yeah.
It's just it had been months since I played the game, so I'd forgotten that because like Gravity Rush doesn't seem like the kind of game where you would have level up mechanics.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha.
So it doesn't seem like the kind of game where you could upgrade your abilities. It's like this is what I have, and so I'm like over here beating the fucking game with base gravity, which is like obviously you guys can't see this, but you guys can. So it's like the bar is like this long at base. It's like this long at fucking max. Which is what I was supposed to be
more
at.
than enough to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So 3 points for okay. 1. So our middle sister, like, video games were not allowed in the house at all growing up. For valid reasons. Mom and Dad thought that if we had video games, we wouldn't get anything done. Fair. But when our middle sister got old enough, she got a job and she bought it with her own money, and they're like, well, we can't exactly tell her she can't buy things with her money.
Yeah, exactly.
And then of course the Wii broke them, and they bought a Wii and that whole thing, and then video games were no longer banned.
They're like, hey,
I don't know
Aaron,
what it is.
Here, Aaron, you're allowed to use the Wii because it's going to require you to exercise. Aaron playing Lego Pirates or Lego Star Wars.
It was Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda, like just sitting on the couch, like, well, you're playing the Wii. Why are you sitting on the couch? Well, this doesn't require.
It doesn't require me to stand. Okay, so. And she didn't have a memory card, and so she could only get as far as like Clayton and Deep Jungle, and couldn't get any further. Eventually, she did the whole thing. I eventually get my own PS2, borrow Kingdom Hearts 1 from her, beat it, and then I was like, I find out there's more. Like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 2. So I want Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm like, our middle sister is 6 years older than I am, by the way. I want the game. I have some allowance. Like, Mom and Dad didn't really give us like weekly allowance. Just like sometimes you just get money doing certain things. But like, so I get it, and I'm like, oh, this is just, like, I didn't know the difference between like used and new games. I would just see versions that were like expensive and less expensive. So I bought a used copy of the game, and I waited like a whole week. I was like, every day from school, because I walked home, I would run home hoping the package had shown up early by some miracle. And eventually it shows up, and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I can play this game. I'm so excited. I put it in. It doesn't load. It just does not work. Period. And I am devastated. Like, openly weeping I run to her, I'm crying, this whole thing, I don't know. And like I understand at this point that if I return it, I'm not gonna get my full money back. And I'm not gonna have enough money to buy a new copy of the game. I am destroyed. And then she offers to buy a brand new copy for me. And I'm now I have to wait another week. And now I'm paranoid. Like, what if this one doesn't work? I was oh god. And then it did work and everything. I was like, oh, but I was like, that fucked me up, dude. Eventually, I beat the game. Years later, like she's moved out at this point. She borrows my copy of 2. She can't get past like Agrabah. And then I'm like, why? What's wrong? She's like, I don't know what's wrong. It's like, I go in, I'm like, what's going on? She doesn't have any abilities equipped.
Yep.
She replaced her equipment. No abilities. I'm like, remember, she's 6 years older than I am. Got into video games before I did. And then, like, she beat it. No problem. Like, first try after I just, like, went through and gave her some abilities. She's like, oh!
Yep.
And now my third point that I brought up from what you said, there's an X-Men. I think it was X-Men 2, the video game. There was a boss fight against that nail lady that has like the adamantium like fingernails. I guess that is who she is. I didn't even realize. Yeah. So in that fight in the game specifically, because it wasn't in the movie, Storm is sealed inside of a coffin.
Oh,
and she's like creating a tornado inside the room and everything, and she's freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, I gotta save her! And so I'm fighting Lady Deathstrike, and I see in the top right corner a health bar. And my assumption is that is Storm's health bar. So as I'm fighting her, I'd be like, oh no! Like fighting Lady, and like, it's like, oh no, Storm is dying! Oh wait, whenever I get flung into the tornado, she gets health back. So I spent like half an hour, like, how do I win? What am I doing? And then I was like, oh. Oh my god.
And this is why, so I didn't know about a lot of entry-level generation games that usually teach you themes and mechanics of games.
Oh yeah.
Because believe it or not,
Era before standardized
we were in
Yeah.
the industrial age of video games,
Yeah.
where a lot of the mechanics are just intuitive to gamers carrying over from other video games, even if they are movie video games. Like, apparently, I've never played it, but the Constantine video game is amazing. Like, way better. Like, the one that has Keanu Reeves in it. Yeah. The video game they made for that movie is so good that it could have been its own standalone, like, title as a video game. Oh, that's an oof. So we chilling? Do I stop recording?
No, don't stop.
Keep yours recording.
Don't stop.
Keep talking. I'm just gonna switch on my battery.
Okay, copy. So, nice plot lost.
No,
Interrupted.
dude, I
Anyways.
actually played I played a lot of those movie games as a kid.
Okay.
Like WALL-E. I played the WALL-E on PS2. It's fucking good.
Do you want to know something that I loved as DVD mixes as a kid, but I never actually got to execute because my dad was a diehard Sony fan?
What?
So my favorite movie that has Hugh Jackman in it, Hugh Jackman, is Van Helsing. Van Helsing is my favorite movie, as campy and as crappy as the CGI is.
It's like watching Underworld.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or Resident Evil.
And that's why my dad had it.
Back when
because,
Hugh Jackman looks like he's in a freaking shampoo commercial.
right? No, that was back when he was in his freaking prime. Like, granted, he still looks great, but at the same time, that was when he was like, I get why chicks like him.
Yep.
So
this one actually has a full battery charge on it, so I should be fine for
the
the rest of the
DVD
recording.
disc for Van Helsing had a video game on it. That if you had an Xbox and plugged the DVD into the Xbox, you could play the video game. Guess what I didn't have?
An Xbox?
An Xbox.
Who the fuck had an Xbox?
PS2.
Xbox sucked.
Freaking
Literally
Bad
every other
Dragon.
American other than us, apparently.
Yeah, this is like secondhand years later.
Yeah.
Different.
So,
PlayStation Master Race.
I found out my grandpa had an Xbox. I needed an Xbox, not an Xbox 360. So I go over to my grandpa's place. And the only games he has is gambling games because that's all he's into. And
What
so,
a weird
What
thing
a-
to
what
have
a
an
grand-
Xbox
what a-
360 for.
What a grandfather thing to do.
so it's funny because he had those old school water containers that were made of glass,
Yeah.
and they had the handles on top, and full of poker chips. And he had his 360 sitting on top of it.
Oh my god!
And so, super funny layout, everything. He had like a little piece of wood that the 360 sat vertical on so that it was balanced properly. And I turn it on. I take out his Poker World Championship 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Put it in its case. Take the disc of Van Helsing, put it in there, start it up. And I thought that the backwards compatibility of the 360 would allow me to play the DVD. But apparently it's data read off of the DVD that allowed you to go into the menu and then activate the Xbox game. And because it wasn't an Xbox, it was the 360, it wasn't technically backwards.
You know, I have an Xbox. That kind of makes me want to buy the Van Helsing DVD.
It was only select DVDs though.
Fuck.
That's the thing.
You know, I'm sure I could probably find one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I kind of want to try that out.
Yeah.
Like, because like I want to. It's probably not gonna be good, but like
No.
I have to try it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. But
No, speaking of like, remember?
I went to rotate your laundry.
oh, thank you.
Not even close to dry.
No, of course not.
remember how y'all were talking about like not having memory cards?
Yes.
So when I was a kid, I didn't have my own game consoles.
I didn't start the dryer.
Well, I just did, so there you
So I
go.
loaded the washer, and I was like, all right, cool. And then I got pulled away by conversation because Kodig did his thing around the door with his fingers. And he was all like,
It's fine. That's fine. It's only midnight.
No.
yeah, that's,
Well, that's fine.
do you, midnight, hilarious.
No. Nowhere near.
I know.
No. Okay. So
Hold on,
no.
benchmark time, what is it?
We're
71
at
minutes.
70 minutes. That's an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, can I get a restroom break in?
Sure.
Yeah.
So my favorite genre of video
Wait,
games
wait.
is just RPGs.
Yeah, it's his turn. Let him speak.
Wait, but I had a point that I brought up before.
no,
before
you used up all your time, sir.
No. Let me bring this up real fast, and we can cut it back to you, Aaron. We were talking about not having memory cards. That's what I brought back up. I was like, remember, y'all talking about not having memory cards. My experience with not having a memory card as a kid, right, was my cousin had a GameCube. Now, I didn't have any game systems back
Okay,
then.
Joey Wheeler. All of a sudden, my memory of not having a memory card back when I was a kid, no memory card, having memory card. Right, you?
didn't realize Joey Wheeler was black.
He is in the Netflix adaptation.
Is he? Wouldn't be shocked.
Anyways, no. So, like...
Use the
And
brakes,
he
you
is
dumb broad.
Mexican.
We didn't have a memory card. So, we didn't have a memory card. And, this is going to sound stupid because y'all are like, yeah, no, these, like, epic moments in gaming. Kingdom Hearts, you know, epic stories.
I wouldn't necessarily say too much epic moments in gaming, but all right.
No, like historic games.
Oh, no,
historic
bro.
games. And mine was like, yeah, no, I played SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, the video game.
I thought I was like, if you say Battle for Bikini Bottom, there'd be some people, but nah.
No, it was the movie,
it's not
the video
even,
game.
not even Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Battle for Bikini Bottom's like the best one.
But that's the only one that she had, you know. So it's like
I played the PC port, and it's a very different game.
it is a very different game. No, but like I said,
It's on my
it was
grandmother's
the movie,
computer.
the video game, and like it was always like me trying to leave it on so I wouldn't lose all my progress.
Yep.
I got so familiar with like the opening. I still like that game. I literally bought it. It's one of the few games that I have on GameCube just because.
I had a friend who lived like way down the street from me. Like it's like one of those. It's like you go down the street, you go down the street, you go down the street, like that down the street.
Yeah.
He had that game.
It's pretty fun. I hold true to this day. I think it's a fun game. I went back and replayed it. It's fun still. The graphics did not hold up.
No.
Okay.
In the slightest.
That reminds me of something. That friend, like he had the Spider-Man 2 game as well, like the
for the PS2?
yes.
Wow.
There is dialogue they recorded specifically if you use mechanics before the game teaches them to you, because those games are narrated.
Yeah.
And he's teaching you how to do all the controls. But if you do things before the game has taught them to you, you get unique dialogue from the narrator.
Isn't the narrator Bruce Campbell?
Some guy. He's in the actual movies.
Yeah, it's Bruce
He's
Campbell.
from the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell. That's Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, that's Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell was also supposed to be Mysterio in the Tobey Maguire films. Like when they
Yeah, but not. But
We're
then,
gonna do
but then they
Spider-Man
just
4.
put him in for freaking Dimension of Madness or whatever the hell.
Well, that's because
Doctor
he's
Strange.
in every Sam Raimi movie.
yeah.
Eh.
That's because like he is in every Sam Raimi like Evil Dead is a Sam Raimi movie. So it's like
Yeah, they're tight.
yeah, they're like it's like getting a Tim Burton movie with
Johnny Depp.
Or Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Bella
literally-
Bonham Carter.
Literally, the first thing I thought of when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah. Bella Bonham Carter.
But the girl from Harry Potter.
Like
Emma Stone.
I don't know her married name. I know her actress name.
Mary Bonham Carter, I think.
Sometimes I think of jokes and I'm just like, that's inappropriate. I'm not gonna say it because it's his wife. It's my slave name.
To be fair though, Johnny Depp does kill his wife quite a lot.
He's not the one writing the
Sweeney
scripts.
Todd, freaking Harry Potter, freaking.
Johnny Depp is in Harry Potter.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's
well,
not.
He's not in.
Oh, he's in fucking like the continuation series, but like
The Cursed Child.
no, in
Fantastic Beasts.
Who is he in Fantastic Beasts?
He's
Grimwald.
He's Grimwald.
Oh,
And then
Until
they
they
were,
replaced
and
him.
then yeah, in the
For-
last
for-
movie
for
they
stuff-
were
for
replaced.
yeah,
we're
because
not
nobody
talking about.
nobody liked him in
That's not why.
Crimes of Grindelwald.
That's not why.
Well, it's part of the reason why.
That's not why they
But it is part of
well,
the
that's
reason.
not politics. We can talk about that. It was the whole.
Yeah,
And
it's a
Johnny
settled
Depp
court
Amber
case
Heard
now.
thing. Yeah,
it was the Amber
Yeah,
Heard.
Amber Turd. Yeah.
yeah.
Agreed.
She took
No,
a shit.
I think they
originally, I had like a middle opinion of Jason Momoa, and then whenever he came on court and called her Amber Turd, I was just like, Jason Momoa's the man. He is my favorite wrestler now.
and then
What?
and then Aquaman.
Wrestler.
And then
yeah, he was a
Aquaman.
wrestler, wasn't he?
No,
before?
no.
And then he started getting some of
He's like
that
a
some of
Roman
that
Reigns.
rock energy into him, and then Aquaman 2 happened, and he got real humbled. And,
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, to be fair,
Is that why he was in the Minecraft movie?
I think
Could
it's
have
just-
been.
I think he just wanted to be in the Minecraft movie.
That's
it's
fair.
it's a paycheck.
That's fair. No, and that's
Well, it's
the
also like he likes doing those kinds of silly things. Like he does enjoy like the
Dude.
silliness of it.
I wish the dudes who did like Shark Boy, Lava Girl, Spy Kids were still doing movies.
Bro, that'd
He would be
fucking
perfect
awesome.
for a Spy Kids movie.
Dude, for the love of God, please. Have you heard about the Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel?
I've
Never
heard of Lava Shark and Boy Girl.
Never watch it. It's bad. It's really bad.
Is it?
To be,
It's so-
to be
they
fair,
didn't
so
even
is
get-
like Spy Kids
To be
4
fair,
and all that.
I didn't think they were gonna get Taylor Lautner.
Spy Kids 4 wasn't awful. It just didn't hold
They
up.
decided to make the main villain talk like this for no reason.
Okay, to be fair, have you met the other villains in the series? They're
Us?
just as crazy.
I mean, to be fair, in the first one,
I
the
will
most
s-
grounded one.
I will say in 3
Sylvester
with Sylvester
Stallone, the third
Stallone,
one.
he sold that pretty
Dude,
good.
3.
I
a lot
used
of
to
people
play
hated
the
3.
web games for Spy Kids 3, where like you could like make a character and you would go into the game and like
Yeah, you made your own little Spy Kid.
Yeah.
And those, it's fucking Flash games. Man.
Yeah.
I never had my parents'
Fucking-
permission, mostly because I didn't have their permission
Remember
to
when
get on the
Cartoon
computer.
Network had? Did you hear Cartoon Network shutting down their website?
I'm not shocked.
It's completely shut down.
Yeah,
now
I'm
not-
directly to HBO Max. or
Yeah,
Max.
I'm not shocked.
That sucks, man. Like I missed the era. I missed the era
Blame-
of Flash games.
Blame Adobe.
I know, because it's Adobe's stupid.
Your favorite?
Is RPGs in general, like stuff like you know, not Skyrim, like Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, like Dragon Age, like Dragon Age is a little bit more because that's a little bit more tactical in its angle. Baldur's Gate 3 is obviously.
It's more of an SRPG.
Yeah.
RPG.
Especially fucking Origin.
We don't talk about.
I love
Origins.
the progression feeling in RPGs. Like I'm not necessarily saying like all games nowadays need to have like RPG elements in them because they can kind of ruin certain games. But like I love that tangible feeling of progression, of getting stronger, of like, oh man, I'm kind of getting my ass kicked. I know, I'll just grind for 3 hours, make the game really easy. Other games, you just gotta get good. Like obviously you have games like Dark Souls, which are RPGs, but like they're also just geared for challenge. So like if you want to just go in there with no armor and a stick, you can still beat the boss if you're good enough. But then you have other games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where I can jump off of a roof, stab a guy in the neck, and because he's a level higher than me, he took half damage and went, huh? Like, that's kind of stupid.
That beats the fight!
Man, his arteries are made of, like, titanium vibranium.
And then that same guy, 3 levels later, will be made out of fucking tissue paper.
Yeah.
It's like,
Tissue paper. I remember making a trident out of paper once whenever I was
I remember freaking Klain making various keyblades and other swords out of wood and metal pipes.
Steel.
Yep.
No, because this is a thing. Like when I was in,
Oh my god! I remember like Klain's first freaking Kingdom Hearts OC being like, oh yeah, keyblades are the size of planets, and you can shrink them down. It's the manifestations of hearts. This whole bullshit spiel. He went on like, I don't know if we're gonna go with that one, but you do you.
Our Kingdom Hearts OCs have changed significantly.
Yeah,
Mine really hasn't, but like.
Basically, I played a bunch of other... Square Enix has so many freaking games.
Yeah.
But I played some other Square Enix properties that I like. The World Ends With You.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played the sequel. I don't know if it holds up.
The world is still ending, but you're involved.
I especially have played the Switch remake of The World Ends With You, and it removes a lot of the mechanics from the DS that made me like the DS game.
To be fair, they couldn't really do those the
They
same.
totally could.
No, because you
could.
don't have a stylus with a Switch.
Okay, and...
So it would be a lot more difficult to do it if you were docked.
Hey, guess what your screen is on the Switch? It's touch screen.
But you know what your TV isn't? Because they have to plan for the game being
neither
docked
is the top.
too?
Neither is the top screen of the DS. Guess what? If you wanted to make it properly, all you had to do was have it on the Switch, do a split screen.
Oh, you mean the Wii U?
Yeah, literally the Wii U.
Which is not
split screen on the Switch.
That's not. That's because
you
couldn't
can't
dock
do
it
that.
then.
You can't do that on the Switch. Not possible.
Do a split screen game on the Switch?
No,
You
can't
cannot
do that.
have the Switch not in dock and project things onto the TV.
That's not what I'm saying.
What are you
Are
saying?
you saying literally?
Do you know what
split
split
the
screen
in
means?
half?
Yes.
No, that would look terrible. Like you're like oh yeah, like 16.
That's how you played it on the DS.
Like 16 by 3.
Yeah, but it's not a DS.
Yeah, it's not the same size. That would look
Okay.
awful.
Turn it lengthwise.
That would be terrible.
You have stands for it.
No.
You would literally have to do the whole thing
Use
like
the controller.
you have to do what you have to do what computers do literally
You know-
whenever
you know
they
what?
emulate
You know
when
what?
they emulate
Fine.
DS games.
If they can make a $600 Switch 2, they can make a fucking cheaper DS4.
Could they?
4DS.
Yes. Will they? No.
Hate Nintendo.
And even if they did, there's no guarantee your game would be on it.
They're like, hey, we're gonna charge you $500 for
the new
license.
Switch Flip could have made it using the freaking phone technology for the Z Folds for the flexible glass.
Yeah,
they
that's
could have
true.
made a foldable Switch.
Could have.
They're not gonna do that though.
No.
They're like, we're gonna charge you $500 for the license.
And you know what
to
that
own
would
the product.
actually do? That would make it actually a handheld console. I'm with Pippa on this. Handheld consoles should be able to be carried in your freaking pocket and be a handheld. Just because you hold it in your hand doesn't mean that it's a portable handheld. It's a bulky. Just get a whole backpack for it. Like the whole point was I could put it in my pocket. Like that was the point of it being a portable
That's why I have the
handheld.
Switch Lite. That's literally why I have the Switch Lite.
It still
a
needs
lot
its
more
own
portable.
freaking case.
No, it doesn't.
It
Switch
does.
Lite?
You could fit that in your pocket right now. Go get it and put it in your pocket.
I don't have it with
My-
me. It's in the truck.
My problem with the 3DS and the Switch is effective. They're so heavy.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you're just laying in bed, like I've like almost like dislocated my pinkies, like putting the pressure and the weight of the consoles on me. Because especially on the DS, you get 3DS, and you're like, okay,
It sounds
I
like
gotta
a skill issue. You need to build your
It's
it's
not a skill issue. It's an anatomy issue.
I got some grip strength trainers.
That's
You want to borrow them?
That's literally why I bought those like extended controller sides for the Switch. Whenever I have it in hand.
That's why originally your Switch got stick drift, was because I was resting my thumbs on it.
It's fine. They were cheap used Joy-Cons anyway. I have better ones now.
Also, funny side tangent.
There's no such thing as side tangents in this podcast.
Klain, on many occasions, has
I know exactly
sold
what you're about to- yes,
consoles
yes.
to buy new consoles.
Yep.
So one time he sold his PS4.
Yep.
And he's like, oh man, I wish I hadn't done that because I want to play these games, blah, 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 blah. So eventually I upgraded to the Slim for the 1 terabyte of storage. And I was like, well, I'll just give my old PS4, transfer the data, put my old PS4, give it to Klain. And Klain's like, oh yeah, thanks so much, bud. And like like, I don't know, like a couple months later, he then trades that in for something else. I'm like, bruh!
I played the games. You gave it to me.
I did.
I wanted a game. I had a console I wasn't using.
And then like, he also gave me his Switch whenever he was done with it. So
that was legit the whole point of the trade. Was like I was like, okay, I've played all of the PS4 games I want to play. I beat Dishonored like I wanted to. I gave up on the freaking
Monster Hunter World.
No, second part of Dishonored where you play as not Corvo but the other.
Dishonored 2.
No, not Dishonored 2. The second part of Dishonored. The
I've never
DLC
played it.
of Dishonored.
Never played it.
I've never played Dishonored.
You'd be talking to Ryan if anyone was gonna know what you're talking about.
Copy
I
that.
forgot Ryan played Dishonored.
Yeah.
It's the DLC where you play as the dude who actually assassinated the Empress. And
We don't know. We don't know anything about Dishonored.
I gave up on that because he instead of the regular blink ability, he had the slow time blink ability that you had to, because you didn't have them separate, you had to time when you were going to blink or just use it to slow time to get your stuff together, but you still had to blink. So I was just like, oh, whatever. Anyways, Crimes of Grindelwald. That's what it is. Anyways,
Crimes of Grindelwald, isn't that?
Crimes of Grindelwald is the second Fantastic Beasts movie.
fuck y'all. I hate y'all so much.
Shining Force? No, Dragon Force.
Hey, I was right though. That one I was right. You can't use that.
I don't know. He could be right on this
He
one.
could be right. You know,
Who knows?
I've never played for.
We have technology.
For Honor.
Dishonored, For Honor, same game.
I don't
They
know.
got,
I
stabbing people, man.
I
It's
have
close enough.
I have too many tabs open in my brain right now. Let me close a couple of them real quick.
Are you sure there's any tabs open at all?
There's okay. Here's the thing. Unlike you, pleb, who has like the RAM access memory of 2 megabits, I have 64 gigabytes of RAM with too many tabs open at the same time.
and he has no idea where the music's coming
Yeah, I
from.
have no idea. There are 3 freaking songs going on that I've had stuck in my head. It's mostly the I Love thing from Repo. Just on repeat.
Here's the difference though. That 2 megs of RAM that I got running in my brain runs way more efficiently.
No, it
Does it
No,
though?
it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That's a lie.
That is a pure lie.
That is like those old fake awards you used to put on PS1 and PS2 games trying to get people to buy them.
It won Comic X's Game of the Year award. Like, what the fuck is that?
Aren't these game designers wonderful?
What's a platform game without platforms?
Honestly, you know what? I actually.
I'm so wrong. I'm so not correct.
I'm like,
It's okay, we talked about Harry Potter earlier. It's
I
fine.
could not be more wrong.
Do you want to know what messed me up?
What?
There's a part of it called Brigmore Witches,
I don't even know where that.
and
Witches and Wizards, Harry Potter.
yeah.
Oh, that's
so-
literally
yeah,
wow. That is a leap.
It looped me. It looped me hardcore.
There's things that you can still see the logic where it happened.
Yeah, I see the logic. But
so the
damn.
DLC is called Knife of Dunwall, and it's
Okay, I can actually that like grammatically like phonetically that's pretty similar.
yeah. It has a lot similar to Harry Potter in naming sense because
Yeah.
it's a
British.
Europe, a British era style thing. Although I will say Dishonored is probably my favorite adaptation of the Whaling era because it actually includes some of the Industrial Revolution.
I remember Ryan talking up the mission where you go to that whaling house and you hear the dying whales.
Dude, it's so sad.
Yeah. Because you know what happens when whales are dying?
They die.
They sing.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I also remember Ryan, and specifically his mother, bitching that Dishonored is just worse thief.
They're thief. Like they're huge. Thieves.
Ryan and his parents are super old school PC gamers.
Here's the deal.
They're like, Neverwinter Nights is way better than Baldur's Gate 3.
I've never heard them say that.
I know, but like
I have watched them play the older Thief games.
Yes.
The bad ones?
Especially Ryan's mom.
the bad ones.
She copes so hard.
She literally screams when she gets spotted and hard quits the game.
She save scums that game so much that I'm like, how is this a better game? It's like, okay, granted, in Dishonored you do save scum a lot.
Yeah.
But
You don't have to.
but here's the thing, when you first play through that game, you do not have to save scum to complete it.
No.
Like, you screw up, you're just like, okay, this is no longer a ghost run. This is a murder everybody run, and let's go.
Let me inject my wrist-mounted USB drive into everyone's neck USB ports.
In Thief, if you fail at whatever you're trying to do, and it's all random chance too.
Because
Like,
you need to not get spotted, and you need to steal enough to actually reach a quota.
and then on PS4 they had a Thief sequel
It's
game,
Thief 4, yeah.
but it's not called Thief. It's just called Thief.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's,
it's just called Thief,
yeah.
But it is.
Where they were just turning him into freaking Batman for no reason.
I've never played.
It was.
I remember
It had people from the Arkham series developing the game.
It was a lot like Dishonored, wasn't it?
Kind
Like
of
similar.
in style. Well, that's because they're similar mechanic games.
Oh yeah.
I remember there being this one fucking bullshit thing where like Corvo is like tooling on his young female apprentice because she has like a reach tool she uses like as a break, and he being like, "Oh, that's a crutch. You shouldn't use that." And I'm sitting here like, "What's wrong with her using a tool to complete stuff?" And then Ryan pushed up his glasses like, "Oh, because it makes her a worse thief." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. So should a thief use his fucking knuckles instead of lock picks?"
Yep.
Just break the door.
It was like in freaking Revelations where the big fucking upgrade was like the hidden blade also working as like a foot long like hook so you could pull yourself over the slightly higher ledge. He's like, "Oh, is that a cheat? Should assassins not use this?" It's like, come the fuck on, guys. Like, that is gatekeeping of the highest order. Oh, you're not a real thief because you didn't like wait 19 hours in a sewer waiting for the guy to fall asleep before rushing in unspotted. No, I just shot the guy and walked in. Come the fuck on.
I know, dude. And it was one of the, they put that intentionally because
but the game is framing Corvo as right though. It's like, fuck off.
Because it was a plot point later that she didn't have access to the tool and she had to develop those skills. So technically, in statement, yes, he's right. In the boomer execution, no.
It's like, hey, using these tools is a good thing.
You don't shit on innovation.
Having a crutch is one thing, but being
Correct.
like, how dare you develop new techniques?
Right. No, and that's another thing is
It's like people shitting on like people use digital like computers for like drawing and animation and artwork instead of using like pen and paper and like a flip for like it's just the progression of time. It's it's a different skill set and it does kill older art forms, but like it's a progression.
Yeah.
Working in construction, one of the biggest thing that I've seen is the age gap disparity between skill.
Guard rails.
So
Guard hand rails.
yeah, I will give you a good example. Roofers are some of the most pretentious workers
fucking
ever.
Absolutely.
And it can come down to something as simple as having a different nail hammer. Like
Dude,
it could be you when you show up on time for work or when you take your breaks in the day, they would dog on each other. And this is in Spanish. I got the point across on what they were doing to each other while they were speaking Spanish to each other.
Well, it's kind of easy.
No, because they're sitting there like you got these guys that are like, fucking, you're using Ryobi.
Yeah.
Why? And it's like, what's the red one? The red ones, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Like everyone's like, oh, if you're not using Milwaukee,
God forbid you show up with a DeWalt.
Yeah, God forbid you show up with a fucking.
And here's
DeWalt.
the other thing. I got DeWalt because
you could afford it.
DeWalt was actually more expensive than the Milwaukee counterpart.
Yeah.
The reason I got DeWalt tools is because everybody else in my HVAC group, like in all of the jobs that I had, either used Milwaukee or they used Cobalt.
And you didn't want them
You want to be different.
I didn't want them to accidentally take my shit. And it was accident. Nobody's going to steal my shit.
Yeah.
But so our company provided us Ryobi. And so one of the dudes goes, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to go buy a whole Ryobi set because if the company provides it, it's good, right?" His shit burnt out like in the first 2 days we were doing stuff.
Of course.
And we aren't, in HVAC, we're not doing anything too intensive. We're literally linking together like vents and then opening up panels for external units for AC.
Yep.
His Ryobi burnt out doing a 3/4 inch screw inside of a panel of one of the rooftops we were doing. It's brushless, burns out just trying to take this screw out. I get a screwdriver out and unscrew it faster than his drill did. I was like, I'm not even going all the way over to my shit to get my freaking drill. Like, I just get a screwdriver and go, it's out. And his drill burnt. That's how much of a POS these Ryobi pieces of equipment are. And he bought that with his own money. That's what made me feel
dude,
bad.
Ryobi can be good. It's just, like...
But here's the thing. I've not had a single problem with the DeWalt drill that I've had. Ever.
Yeah.
I've used it hella to hang drywall, to go and move studs. I've done it to reframe a windowsill. I've done it to fix a piece of furniture. I've used it on different surfaces using the wrong screws. Like I've used drywall screws for freaking everything. I'm like, a screw's a screw, let's go. And
we buy whatever's cheap and whatever's usable. That's we have like a $40 drill.
So you know how our dad has like 9 different tool sets, none of them
they're
are
all
complete.
Black & Decker, and Black & Decker it may as well be Ryobi.
Yeah, but none of them are complete sets though. They're all just mishmash random shit together. Because this is one
like
giant
all
tool,
dad's tool
one
sets.
giant tool bag.
You're going under construction. I have a drill for you, and it's his.
We'll have 7 fucking flathead screwdrivers, no Phillip head.
They're all different sizes, and none of them are the size that we actually need for the screw.
Literally, I remember one time you were doing something in the shed for Dad, and you were like, "Hey, go get me a hammer." So I run into the garage, and I find the first hammer-shaped object I can find.
The ball peen.
And no, it's not. It wasn't the ball bean. I bring it up to you, and you're like, "Yeah, sure. I guess I'll use my smithing hammer for this."
You grabbed my 3-pound sled. Yep.
I found the first hammer-shaped object. Correct. Is it a hammer?
It is.
I know exactly why he grabbed it too. I always made sure it was available because I needed it to get freaking trim. Dude, the trim in that house was awful, dude. It was easier for me to get like a block of wood and then hit the block of wood with my sledge. And
Sure.
Get it back
I guess I'll just use the sledgehammer.
Yeah. No, and here's the thing.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I did something else." And he's like, still like passive aggressive, like, "No, it's fine. Whatever. You could grab like something else." But like, I guess I'll use this. Like, I was just trying to help.
It's because the face of it is. Okay, I know we were fixing the hinges on the door. The door had come apart. So I needed a precision hammer to get the frame back.
Hammer.
And so I'm over here just like, yeah, let me just use a boulder when I need a rock. And so I'm over here, like, caveman trying to get it back.
Dude, caveman... This is not making fun. Well, it is a little bit. Caveman is like 90% of your repairs. Let's be honest. Remember when Ryan had that door at the house that we used to live at when we were bug mates?
I had 3 beers.
Yeah, you got 3 beers. You're like, fuck it, let's just hang this up.
And fucking take 2 2x4s in each one and just said, fuck it, and just like giant space holes.
Yeah, he just cuts blocks of wood just big enough for the nails.
And I'm gonna do full disclosure for you on that. I was supposed to go get all of the boards to thicken it out and then put it in. I didn't have enough boards. I wasn't thinking right. I was already stressed out whenever I went to
And he was drunk.
Ryan, how much do you want this door up? And I'm like, I'm a little sloshed right now. He's like, well, I want some privacy, and it would be...
There was no privacy.
Yeah, literally, Ryan saying he wants privacy, and then in moments where he requires privacy, he does not close his door.
Leaves his door open.
Multiple occasions.
There's like a 6-inch hole between the door and the wall, and 3 different. So eventually they go and they use caulk. They use caulk to fill in the space.
No, we use
drywall.
We use expanding foam.
It's worse.
So
Home Improvement. This is not.
The idea was, and here's the thing.
After my dad spends all that time making a really nice wall,
here's
the
deal.
door just looks like
I want you to listen to this because most of this isn't my fault.
Most of this isn't my fault.
No, legit, it isn't. I go, okay, I'm going to go measure the boards. We're going to cut them uniform. We're going to put them where the hinges connect to the frame, and then we're good. Ryan goes, okay. I go and start measuring them out. Ryan's already lined up boards for the bottom and middle. Ryan has already fucked up because he has drilled 2 of the boards into the wall.
Never trust Ryan with repairs.
Never trust Ryan with anything.
And I'm like... Fuck, he didn't even make them flush.
The door didn't even close properly.
So I had to go back and caveman fix what Ryan had already started. And then I'm already like sloshed. I'm on my 4th beer in the middle of this. I just straight up give up. I'm like, I'm going to make sure the door can shut and the frame's good. And then I have to take my saw because we angled it too high. And by we, I mean him. And the door won't close because there's about a 1/4 inch gap between where the far end of the door meets the far end of the trim away from the hinge. So I'm just like, fuck it. I don't want to reframe this. I'm too tired. I'm too sloshed. I get my Sawzall. I shave off about like 2/4 of an inch.
Of the door?
Of the door. Fucking recalk that bitch, and that's where the caulk came in, is I recalked and painted over it so it didn't look like shit. And then it was still a tight close. And then so after that,
It was ghetto redneck.
Yes,
it was.
It was crazy. It's because like we remember like my dad came down.
He talked so much shit about that door.
Yes, he did. He did. Like, to be fair, like he built that nice, pretty wall with full insulation and everything.
And then, I can't believe, like, we went through the whole process. Dad agreed in all of it, like, let it hold through. And then, like, right before we move out, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, you guys have to tear down that wall before you leave.
Yeah, we're just like,
Oh!
It's a nice.
Thank God their real estate agent said, no, just leave it alone. Don't do anything to the house. You can sell it as is, make a profit. Don't do anything.
So, we went
And
to
then
go
fucking nominate chewing holes in the fucking walls and over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, back when she was a pup. Yeah.
We went to
I'm
go
glad I
get
broke her out of chewing
the
shit
expanding
like that.
foam, and what I told him was, we are going to trim the far side. Because here's the thing. The only shitty part, like even with the shaved part of the door, it wasn't that noticeable.
Ah.
If we just capped where it was and filled it in, I was like, we will get expanding foam and seal it. What we're going to do first is cap your side of the room, so it looks uniform on the inside of Ryan's room.
Yeah.
And then I will put the expanding foam. It'll expand out. We'll shave the expanding foam down, sweep it up, and then I'll cover it back up. Ryan goes, cool. I step out of the room to go grab the trim. He is
And that's
fucking
where you made your
spraying
first
the
mistake.
expanding foam.
That's where you made your first mistake.
I'm gone 2 goddamn seconds. And he is not even spraying the expanding foam between the door and the wall. He is spraying it where I'm trying to put the trim. So I go, Ryan, what the fuck are you goddamn doing? And he's like, I'm spraying the expanding foam. Before I install the trim?
Wait.
And he was just like, well, I thought you needed the foam to install it. No, I need a drill and the trim. Like I said, I was stepping to go get. And he was like, well, I thought you needed the expanding. No!
He's trying to be helpful.
And here's the deal. I told him we have to make sure the trim is sealed before we put the foam.
Because it's expanding foam.
Because if I seal the trim and it bleeds through any of the gaps of the trim, it defeats the purpose of me putting the trim.
Yes.
So now I can't put the trim because he put wet foam there. So I have to shave it off, and this is where I just give up, and I'm just like, cool, you're gonna have shitty foam door. This is your fault.
You have done this to yourself.
Yeah. And so he's just like, well, can you just help me with it? You've made more work. I don't want to do it now. like legit, I don't want to waste the 3 cans of expanding foam that it's gonna take to fix this.
Yeah.
You've already wasted half the can in the wrong area of where we're trying to spray it.
Mm-hmm.
At least at that point, he had privacy because there was no holes there.
Yeah.
But
It looked like ass.
said.
And then you're me with Klain directly above me. So then he takes a step or does literally anything in this room, and you're on the roof.
Yeah, me and Clayton really good friends, not the best of roommates. We lived right next to each other, and the thing that you got to know is that me, Aaron, and Ryan we worked nights, and Clayton worked days. He worked a shitty job back then, so he was always frustrated.
And
it was the job.
And the location where his door was, it literally all the sound from the living room funneled
Just
directly
into
that door.
So we were a little loud. That's just the kind of people that we
I
are.
remember literally one time, when that huge ice storm happened, we just lost power. and we're like the three of us are huddled in the living room with the fire in the living room,
There
and
were
then,
blankets covering the doorway.
yeah,
and
just trying
everything.
to huddle together in warmth, and we're just kind of hanging out, chilling a little bit. And Clayton's like, "Could you guys not be in the living room right now?" We're like,
No.
No, we cannot not be in the living room right now. Because it's like, hey, you're not going to work tomorrow, and you're like, I need to try to keep my sleep schedule.
Here's the other thing, though. So, right after I made that comment, I went to sleep. I got a phone call from work, and I answer it, and it's dispatch, and he goes, "Hey, do you have your work truck with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Do you think you can make it to the office with it?" I was like,
No.
"Why?" And he's like, "We were trying to keep account of all the vehicles due to the weather." And he's like, "Is your car frozen?" And I go downstairs. You guys are still there. I peek out the curtain and I check, and I'm like, "No." He's like, "Is your road frozen?" "Yeah."
Yes, 3 feet.
He's like, "Okay, don't bother. As long as the car's okay, can you do me a favor? Can you go outside and turn it on?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Why?" "My door's frozen." Our door was frozen solid.
Yep.
We could not get that thing open. It took
And
until like 3 hours of daylight shined on it that we could get it to budge.
This is not meant to be the tooling on Ryan
sitting over-
moment, but like he wanted to make like ramen noodles, and so he took
I don't
one
understand the
paper.
logic.
He
I'm
took-
just gonna burn notebook paper in a pot.
make a pot, put paper in it,
And
light
we
that on
have
fire,
a propane
grill.
with burners. And this is very much a shit on Kodig right now. He goes and spends $50 on a 3-pound bag of charcoal and throws it in our propane grill because he's like, "I don't know how to turn on the propane." That doesn't mean you put charcoal in it. You corrode the burners. So I'm like, if you don't know something,
Charcoal side
It
grill
did. It had
too.
a charcoal side and a
It had
propane
charcoal
side.
grill too. Like,
and he
we
put it on
literally-
the complete wrong side.
We're literally over here burning water on the propane grill that we had already turned on by turning snow into water and boiling it so we could fucking drink it.
Yeah, this nasty ass, just dog hair and
We
bullshit.
had no choice.
God,
This
dude.
is what we had.
It was straight up freaking dog hair tea, dude.
And then
It
and
was
then the
awful.
and then the pipe. I will never forgive Ryan for when we moved into the Palmer house and freaking we didn't have running water, so we bought bottled water to drink, and then
fucking flushed. Yeah.
he then used the bottled water we bought for drinking to flush the toilet after he clogged it 3 separate times because he would beehive his hand in toilet paper. And it's just like, oh my god.
At that point, you get him a bucket with the hole cut out of it. You dig a hole out in the yard.
And
And
then I
tell him
love
this
when
is
his,
your outhouse.
when his parents come over to visit us and we tell them all this stuff and they're like, "Why didn't you tell us this? We asked you what's going on. You don't tell us any of this stuff."
No, he's embarrassed. Of course he's not going to tell his parents.
I'm not meaning to just keep picking on Ryan.
No, because he's not here to defend
last
himself.
one, we're moving on.
Yeah.
The last one. Remember when
He
we
listens
had
to
teach
this.
him-
No, he doesn't.
Remember when we had to teach him how to shave?
Oh yeah,
He's
because
over
he was
here
just using
using
full
razors
ass
on
beard,
a full beard, like
just
like the-
hacking away like it's a
like
freaking
the full
lawnmower.
razors on a full. I remember I caught him in the bathroom.
These are
shaving.
my razors, by the
Yeah,
way. Everyone's
and
borrowing.
and he's like full beard shaving with a regular razor. I'm like, and it's like the multi blade.
It's like he's
single
tr-
blade.
it's,
You can do
it's
that.
like
with.
he's trying to
Multi-blade.
cut down a full lawn of grass with a freaking like freaking like a garden rake.
And I'm like, Ryan, what are you doing? He's like shaving,
And
I'm
we-
like, your full beard.
And we have electric razors, by the way, to trim it
We
down.
have 3 electric razors in that bathroom. I'm like, Ryan, that's what the electric razor's for.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Not a single douse of Barbasol or anything.
No, clearly.
Just dry shaving.
No, he's literally like full beard covered in fucking in shaving cream. I'm like, that's not how that works.
That's not how the force
Unless
works.
only with a
kid.
single blade or barbershop blade does
Can you?
that work.
Yeah, can you do that? And that's very clear because it was like these were like
At that
these were-
point, you should have
these
gotten
were
him
like
a pocket knife and gone.
these
go
were like
ham.
my these also were like my 3-year-old giant Dollar Shave Club, like, because I didn't shave very often, but I was part of the shave club, so I had like several packs of razors that I just kept over the years, and because they'd been sitting for years, like they dull because like they're just not being blah 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 blah. But it's like, I'm sitting here like, why the fuck did they go through so many razors so quickly? We found out! Because he would use a fresh razor, shave once, ruin the entire thing, and throw it away.
Didn't even clean it. Didn't even clean it.
Because you couldn't. He was ruined.
It was like 6-inch hairs stuck in the middle of it. He would go through like 2 razors per shave.
So one of my things is when I was with my father,
Yeah.
and he was teaching me how to shave, he didn't have electric razors.
Yeah.
He had scissors.
Well, that's not too bad.
Nah,
And
you can do that.
so when he was like, "You're going to be here for a while. I need you to trim," because you know how my sideburns grow. I don't have sideburns that just go down. My sideburns, like the rest of my hair, likes to like willow out. And my stepmom always said that I had tentacle sideburns because she didn't like how they grew out, and that's how I got called Mufasa in theater club back at our high school.
Yeah, like the hair on my ears, like it certainly starts to curl upward too.
Yeah.
Even though none of my other hair curls, but here it just goes up.
Exactly, and that's an Irish thing, by the way. So, and what's funny is that's where most of my red pigment is
Around
my
your ears.
sideburns. Yeah, sideburns and lower cheeks. So I was trimming them, and I trim all of them off, and then I'm shaving from above my ear down because he's like, okay, I don't like your sideburns. He then has the gall to dog on me because I just shaved all my sideburns off and kept like a little shaggy Scooby-Doo goatee. And he's like, do I need to get you a green shirt and khakis? And I was like, yeah, actually, that would be pretty cool. I look great in green shirts.
Yeah.
And so I'm over here anteing all of his jokes, and he hates it.
Of course.
And,
he's trying to tool on you.
yeah, he's like, what, you would be Shaggy from school? Yeah, Shaggy's awesome. What are you talking about? I'd love to eat and stay skinny. Can you give me a Doberman too? Like, that would be sick. Or sorry, Great Dane.
If I could pick 2 dogs that are on the complete opposite spectrum of one another, Chihuahua would be it, but Doberman's a close second.
Literally talking to the 2 guys that have 2 ranking videos
On
on
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo movies.
My bad. And you want to know what's funny? I called him a Doberman all throughout childhood.
Nobody corrected you?
Until I watched the episode that we need a great Danish prince to save the princess. And because he's a Great Dane, that's how I figured out, oh, Great Dane is the breed of dog that he is.
Yeah.
But he's also has all of the features that were seen as bad in Great
For breeding
Danes.
purposes, yeah.
Because
The arched back, the high stomach.
Which is why I didn't recognize him as a Great Dane, because all of the dogs that I've
They
seen
did it
with
on
Great
purpose,
Danes,
which is funny because that specific thing with Scooby actually changed what was desired in
exactly
a Great Dane.
his
because
popular
now it's desired to look like Scooby.
and not the
Do you have any fucking acetaminophen or anything?
I have ibuprofen.
ibuprofen in his. What do you got a headache?
Not on me. Reaches his hand. It's in my bathroom. Reaches his hand out like I have some in my pocket.
Yeah.
Not a dealer. Nah, dude, it's so funny. Like this really just turned into a podcast of us talking about our past and history, which is fine. Like
That's how it goes.
yeah,
It's whatever.
yeah, it's what it is. Whatever.
Enjoy internet.
enjoy our past traumas.
Yeah, but no. So with roguelikes, the only reason that I like roguelike, and like any person, I get frustrated at them.
Of course,
I keep playing
they're
at
kind of
them.
designed to be.
But it's mostly because a lot of roguelike gameplay is very intuitive in what it wants you to do. You learn from your mistakes and you catch patterns. It makes me better at other games. And the other thing is I'm starting to notice that the reason I like roguelikes and not like military sims, even though they have very similar gameplay to roguelikes. They do, though. You go through
Military sims?
Yeah, you go through rounds and do missions. If you fail the missions, you have to start over the mission from the beginning and go through each sequence. The difference is you don't have liminal progression. So in those missions, you are set up with a challenge. After you go through a sequence, you learn what the challenge is. You find ways to beat it. Helldivers is another one. Helldivers, I think, is the only military sim that I enjoy playing, even though it is bullshit, because you can't ever get into a synergy with the enemies because they keep changing how the enemies function.
Yeah. Aaron doesn't even play multiplayer games.
Like, I don't
will-
blame you for
I will give-
uninstalling Heck Divers for two reasons. Hiffle Divers is
Yes.
at this point to where with the new Super Earth update, they've added quality of life changes that are better for the Helldivers, but they've also added quality of life changes for the enemies that make me want to rip my freaking hair out. Because so they have the system, you know, light armor, medium armor, heavy armor. Do you want to know what they did to make the squids stand out from all the other enemies?
They ignore armor.
They added pierce through. Do you want to know what pierce through does?
Pierce's armor.
If I have a heavy armor penetrating weapon and use it on an enemy that has pierce through armor, so granted it's medium armor. In order to make sure that they take full damage, I have to use a medium armor penetrating weapon. If I use the Senator, which is a heavy armor penetrating revolver, and try to shoot them anywhere but the heart or head, it just pierces through them and does minimal damage.
That doesn't make any sense.
Same! So here's
Oh, I shot this person clean through my bullet. It did less damage than if it had just chinked off.
Exactly. So you have to use explosive rounds or concussive rounds. And then on top of that, if you use anything that is... So I use the heavy machine gun. As the name implies. It's a heavy armor penetrating weapon. I will sink a third of a clip of a heavy machine gun into the flying dudes who throw the grenades. And it will do freaking nothing. But then I can go and pick up a stalwart, which is a free stratagem right now. Use it, and it takes 3 bullets and they're down. It makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah, Helldivers. I always feel bad when you're like, hey, if I get you this game, will you play it with me? I was like, I will give it a shot, but I can't guarantee I'll like it.
bought
and
it
wanna
for
get
you
it.
on
Never
sale.
plays
It wasn't
any
that
other
big a
games.
deal.
Okay, well, here's my problem, because I had a whole Aaron talks on it. I briefly discussed this problem. So many co-op games, you don't feel like you're progressing in them. It feels like you're just holding pattern in them.
Yeah.
Like the multiplayer games that I've played with you guys that you guys have bought me, stuff like Deep Rock Galactica. It's
It's just galactic, but okay.
whatever. Helldivers, which I'm not a huge into shooters to begin with. It's just not my thing.
Elden Ring.
Well, that's a different issue. MechWarrior 5. Ryan got it for me back when other friend who we've not given a name for, Big K, was on for once at
Who's
the
The wrestler.
guy who
The guy that
who
never
never
talks.
responds in the group chat.
The guy that never talks in the group chat. We haven't given him a name yet.
I don't know what his gamer
not a
tag
gamer
is.
tag.
Yeah, well, he probably
I've got
does,
it.
but I don't know what it is.
Uh,
Sexy Bigfoot is what I think he's on Discord.
That's his Discord. His
Yeah.
Steam is Jabberjaws.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, whatever.
I call him Sexy Bigfoot.
I like 60 Bigfoot.
So he was on, and I was like, oh, like, because he's never on. It's like, oh, I want to play. He's like, interact with him. He's my friends.
Yeah,
Like, don't
Jabberjaws 10.
Never freaking talks to- never freaking talks to
So you
him.
can call him Jabber.
Whatever.
I
So
like
I got
60
on,
Bigfoot.
and Ryan was like, oh, you want to play? Because he really likes MechWarrior. MechWarrior is one of his hyperfixations.
Him and that.
Yeah, and so I don't like the game because like you have like a throttle that if you have it on, you will move forward and you pull back the throttle. You don't just move forward and it'll step until you stop.
You know-
They sit to accelerate and then they just decelerate and like the turning is.
I
From a
bought-
technical angle, I can see why people who really like the realism of it, they're liking that. I'm not one of those people.
He literally always complained about not having a fucking
The giant
the
freaking
giant-
contror
the
thing
j-
that's like
the
they,
joystick.
yeah.
And I bought him a joystick for his birthday to use for MechWarriors, and he just never fucking used it.
It's too bulky to set up, and he's one of those things where if it's not already set up, he doesn't want to go out of his way.
But he's the one that asked for it.
I know. That's the thing that I hate about Ryan.
And then Valheim, which is just
Valheim's fine. You got me Conan.
So me and
yeah, because I liked Conan, but that was also on the PS3.
me and that gamer, we have similar opinions on the direction that Valheim has gone. So Valheim all the way up to the Fooling update where they added the planes and the Fooling boss, which is just Norse for goblin.
Yeah.
It was good. they added the Mistlands, and the Mistlands was a alright idea. The problem is the Mistlands adds a enemy type that just does not flesh with the game style. I'm sorry, if you have a flying bomber in the sky and the best you can do for weapons is maybe a crossbow and it's takes too long to reload and this dude can dump like 10 bombs in your entire area and blow you sky high, but it's a bug, that no. And another thing is when we went to go fight, and I'm gonna ride this high forever, when we went to go fight the Broodmother, which is I don't know if that's her actual name, but she's like basically the mother bug of all the bugs in the Mistlands. Me, that gamer, and Ryan were just doing death runs the whole time, and I didn't die except for towards the end. The whole time I was literally over there with the float cape, just floating around from platform to platform, pot-shotting it with my bow, because the bow I had did poison damage, and I just had to make sure my poison ticks were keeping up so that its healing didn't outpace us, and we kept it, the damage we did stayed. So they're just doing death runs. And the problem with that fight is it's a tiny little arena room with a lot of platforms, and she summons ads that can one-shot you.
Oh.
And we were at the maximum armor progression for that point. They just hadn't balanced the enemy. So there,
That sounds about right.
poor Ryan is running in, getting his shit, going, hold on, I gotta equip my armor. And then, like, with his tab open, goes, summons all of the ads, and then he immediately dies because he's unfortunately standing on one of the burrows that the ads decide to come out of. And so he's like, God damn it! So he does the death run again. And so we have a portal right outside it, so we just have to like get out of bed, run to the portal, like hop over, blah blah blah. That gamer died way more than Ryan did for two reasons. He would get his shit back, get it equipped, be on the little platform that I'm at, and then I'm just like, the ads can't reach me and the Broodmother can't hit me. I'm good. I'm over
Sitting
here.
here sucking my thumb.
Yeah, like over here. And the reason I died is because he hops on my platform, pushes me off, and then I run into the giant freaking trail of BS that the Broodmother is executing.
What an asshole.
But fortunately, he progresses it because he has a better weapon than I do. In that time he progresses it, I get my shit back. I get over right next to him on the other platform that he totally could have jumped to.
He saw you on it, knew it was a platform, and
Yeah.
just didn't look for
Yeah.
alternatives.
Like, start doing pot shots, and then he's like, we're doing it, and then
Never say that.
I had not been hit the entire time by its ranged attacks while I was on the platform. That gamer shoots it, he's on that platform. He dies to the one ranged attack. She somehow managed to land on that platform. And I go, well, now I know that platform's safe because the obstacle's gone. I hop over. I get missed by the ranged attack she was going to do to me. I start doing pot shots. Ryan finally gets his stuff back and equipped, finally gets to where I'm at, misses the jump for the other platform.
Oh.
But he has the glide thing, so he glides down to safety, goes, okay, I'm going to do the run again, does the call for the ads, gets overrun by ads, and all we hear is, as he's getting, like, ganked. Here comes that gamer with his little dagger and freaking shield that he uses to recover his equipment. Freaking goat parries this one-shot hit dude right in front of Ryan. Doesn't matter, Ryan gets killed by another dude. That goes, well, scavenge his stuff for food. Steals the lox pie that he had, eats it, goes, runs and grabs his stuff real quick, gets back into position, doesn't kill me this time, and the Broodmother's at a quarter health, and I'm like, all right, you go do the damage. I'm going to go melee her so we can kill her quickly. I glide down with my axe and serpent shield. I parry one of the attacks, and it's like one of the few times I've actually parried in that game. Go and start wailing on her. I have a regen potion on, so like whatever damage she decides to do to me, I can out heal.
You're just full on
mode. Ryan comes in, goes and grabs his stuff, bitches about his Locke's pie missing. And then finally I'm like, I got her! And she dies. And I'm like, I'm gonna ride this high for her, because it's the one boss that I've actually fully contributed to keeping, like, controlled. And it's one of the harder bosses. Not fighting her again.
No.
Ever.
Valheim's idea of tech progression locked behind boss battles is an interesting concept. I don't like it in comparison to just finding the materials and then utilizing them.
Yeah, like Civilization. Civilization does it good. Let me
That's not. Well, that's research, not necessarily
Yeah,
discovering material.
Do you want to know another game that's like Valheim? V-Rising.
Grounded.
Grounded was one that
7
gamer
Days
tried to get
Die,
me into, and I just didn't
Conan
care.
Exiles.
7 Days to Die doesn't have bosses.
I'm just joking.
Liz-
No,
Survival
I was
games.
right. Specifically, the progressions locked
bosses.
behind bosses. It's V-Rising.
Oh God!
And here's the thing, I got Kodig into it.
It is true. Like
I got him
decided-
started.
Try to get me into Pal World.
Power World's good.
We need to play Power World more,
We
especially
need
with
to
this
play
new
Power
update.
World, yeah.
But-
It's just I've been so stuck on Monster Hunter.
You have monsters in Power World? Come on, bro.
I don't
But-
like shooting monsters.
V-Rising is actually fun if you know what you're doing. It has aspects of the game that are entertaining and enjoyable. The problem is that gamer does what he does in all games. He tries to keep up with the people that he's teaching. He then goes, you guys aren't progressing fast enough. I'm going to go ahead and expedite ahead in the process, because he knows what's going on. He hates being stunted. He hates being held back.
Yeah.
Understandable. Except whenever I am gone a day and he's on the second to final boss of the entire game.
Yep.
And I want you to know the reason we started playing V-Rising again is because they added the Dracula boss battle. He is the boss before Dracula. And I am maybe halfway through the bosses in the tree.
I kid you not. So like my biggest problem when it comes to playing V-Rising with you guys is like, or any games with you guys that is like survival games, is like, and it's a good thing when you're playing with friends to get caught up with your friends, but like the big issue comes into play. It's like you lose that sense of progression.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm like, all right, I'm in Power World. I've been playing for 5 minutes. I beat the first boss already, and I have an AK-47 with 700 ammo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of a big thing with like Elden Ring with you guys, where it was like Kodig, because this was his experience too with that gamer and Ryan. They kind of just front loaded him, gave him stuff, went and fought the first boss, co-opted it, got through, boom. Like you're missing the necessary steps to build the skills and intuition the game is trying to teach you. And then once your friends aren't there anymore, or the game requires a certain amount of skill at a certain point, you're just not.
That's why I keep telling you. I think if you go through, because that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't like the game because I was playing with them, and it was just like, it just felt like I wasn't really doing anything. And then I went through and played the game by myself. Beat it by myself.
Again, I told you I'm just lost in Elden Ring in that one castle. I literally just don't know how to progress.
Just look
What
at
area
that.
are you in?
It's literally the one right after.
Stormvale Castle. He's in Stormvale Castle.
I literally don't know where to go. I'm super
Just look,
super scrapped.
in this one, like I said, do it like you do Dark Souls or Bloodborne.
You know what's funny?
Just look up a guide.
I never knew how to get the Mimic Veil from Stormvale. Apparently, there's a secret room you're supposed to go to.
Oh, dude, it's not even a secret room. It's just something that it's in a chest. You know that giant like scion,
Completely
crafted
missed
scion.
it. Completely missed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And when I went to go back to try.
Wait, no, you can't have missed it. It's necessary for progression.
No, it's not.
The only way that is not is if you went down a total backwoods way.
No, I do what I always do in Souls style games. I shortcut.
There was no shortcut. There was
There's
only
plenty of
only a
shortcuts.
longer.
I
No, I'm
re-
saying. The
I
only
remember when
way-
Dark Souls 3 came out, and Klain got a little frustrated at the game, and me and Ryan, like Ryan had a long experience with From Software, and I had come off of Bloodborne, and I was like, oh yeah, I beat this guy first try, blah blah blah, going through the whole thing, and Klain's like, I'm not naturally skilled at video games like you guys are. I have to buckle down and study and dedicate myself to get through stuff, and I'm like, I don't think I'm naturally good at video games.
I felt really good. Like, I normally didn't feel really good. I felt really good when I played through Bloodborne.
Oh, and you beat Gascoigne in your first try?
Gascoigne on my first try, and they were like, because
Gascoigne is the noob killer of that
they
game.
were
Had
expecting me to die.
zero of the problems fighting Gascoigne that most of us have. Like, I don't know what retarded version of Gascoigne he fought. Like, I don't know if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, didn't have his Cheerios in the morning, freaking what? His Gascoigne was straight up impaired. It was stupid.
Yeah,
I hated it.
And then
because
after
he ran
playing-
into zero of the problem. Like, try to dodge. Like, there are freaking headstones in your way. You gotta know where to dodge in order to avoid. It had none of the problems. And then I remember, because you're like, oh, I beat him first try. He's not even that hard. Made him go back and fight him again.
I beat him after 2 tries after that.
Yeah, when he lost the first time, he was just like, oh, I see why that's a problem now. That was really hard.
And then the second time it was easy. So like,
and because again,
There is
all of a sudden,
there's a formula if you know what you're doing. But.
Yeah.
No, well, here's the thing. It's like after that, after going through Bloodborne and beating Elden Ring, I remember because like I had played Dark Souls 3 as a teenager.
Dark
right?
Souls 3 was my first.
And
Souls.
like I just couldn't get past the first boss. Like I just wasn't good. I just couldn't get past the first boss. And then after playing Bloodborne and playing Elden Ring, I went back and played Dark Souls 3 with Aaron. And I'm like, I'm fighting the first boss. And I'm like, dude, I couldn't get past this last time. There's no fucking way. And then I beat him like immediately, like easily.
Because honestly,
and I'm just like, wow.
that's why I like Dark Souls 3's first boss. It's a little tiny itty bitty area, and it's like minimum threshold of skill required.
Yeah.
Like if you can't beat this guy, you're not gonna beat this game. But he's not that hard.
Yeah.
You just have to be competent
Yep.
and understand how to dodge and attack.
I just got a lot.
And his champion version that you fight towards the end of the game is way harder.
Yeah, he is harder. But
I got a lot more skilled at those kinds of games, like after a while.
Like
Yeah.
in any
But
gamers,
you still refuse to continue Bloodborne without me present because it just pisses
Well,
me
that's
off.
that has less to do with like the combat and more to do with like what the fuck am I doing?
in any gamer's
Where am I going?
repertoire, having a skill-based game like Dark Souls under their experience. Because another thing is I'm supposed to play through Devil May Cry, right?
Ugh, God, which one? The first one?
I'm starting from 1. moving on.
God, dude, the first. I shit you not, because I have the entire Devil May Cry series.
Same.
Right? And I'm sitting here like, there's no fucking way. I found out, apparently, like, the whole community agrees. Devil May Cry 1 just sucks.
Yeah.
Apparently. And I'm just like, okay, it's not just me. I'm not just bad. This game is bad.
And then you have Dante Must Die mode.
Yep.
I didn't mean to interrupt. That's just like,
So
I agree with you.
playing Dark Souls apparently helps prepare you for Devil May Cry 1 because of its unfair hitboxes. And if you've played the OG Demon Souls, it especially prepares you for it because Demon Souls apparently had abysmal hitboxes.
Oh yeah, then world tendencies the game doesn't tell you about, so you could like just fuck your progress. And...
Yep, completely destroy it. And so the new remake of Demon Souls is a lot more intuitive and I don't want to say hand-holdy, but more
it's more forgiving.
forgiving. Yeah.
Actually,
So it doesn't explain things it should.
Yeah.
I bought that. I really should have just stolen Clayton's copy.
You should have. It's still sitting on the shelf, dude. Like I need a PS5. Like
Like
that.
that's why it's so funny because like the PS5 was
I hate that was an exclusive title. It made no sense.
was in my room, and I told the guys like, hey, I can sleep through basically anything. So just if you want to just come and play the PS5, you just can. And so they did. And so like they would just like because the TV was set up at like the foot of my bed, so they had to like put the chair as close to my bed as possible. So sometimes I just wake up in the middle of the night, roll over, and there's just Kodig or Clay just playing Demon Souls like hunched over, like just trying to play.
Both my PlayStation 5 and my PC were in your room.
Because it was room in my
there was
room.
room in your room.
Because I had the master bedroom at the time.
So it was like, okay, we're just gonna put these in here, and it just made sense to have them in your room.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm over here playing my PC, playing Honey Pop while Aaron's asleep.
Oh man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, RPGs definitely just that feeling of progression of like everything you do makes you a little stronger, makes you a little. Now, obviously, there are certain RPGs where just the gear is not challenged. Like the
Grade?
no power creep.
Ah.
Sometimes it's just fucked.
Yeah.
Like like Skyrim, for example, you can spend time with like sneak and lockpicking and smithing and all this stuff, and then you go in the Draugr or like fucking because you don't have any combat skills, because the combat skills are the slowest skills in the game to level up. That's dumb.
It is what it is.
And then you have other games where you can just break it in like a toothpick for leveling up a few specific. Like for example, Dark Souls 2. You want to make that game super easy? Adaptability.
Yep.
Want to know why?
Why?
2 reasons. 1, adaptability determines how quickly you drink your Estus flask.
Yep.
Number 2, controls the length of your iframes when dodging.
Ooh. I guess that would be kind of a crutch, though. A lot of people would call that.
Well, some bosses you can't just sit there and tank the entire time.
In Dark Souls 2, there's literally an area where the whole arena is constantly on fire, and he does fire AoE attacks.
So if you can't dodge,
Because you're already taking tick damage, so it's a race against time.
and that's mentioned in Dark Souls 2, every time you die, you lose max health.
Dude, it was freaking weird for me because, like...
And it's not like in Dark Souls 3 where like you're embered, you're like no, you can go down to half HP if you die enough times.
Dark Souls 2, I was trying to play a strong boy like I did in Dark Souls 3, you know?
You can, but it just requires so much more.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
It's like I did it in Elden Ring. It's way better in Dark Souls 3 specifically.
Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1 are the best strength builds.
Yeah.
Because Dark Souls 3 is the most fair game out of the series, because by that point it had learned, because it took inspiration from obviously 1 and 2, but also Bloodborne. So the idea of like, okay, being fast and nimble is actually helpful, but also it's like we don't want to get rid of strength like builds, stuff like that, like tanks. So like they just made it, and also with magic, the whole like attunement system where you, instead of being a limited use, it's just you have its own resource, just infinitely made the game more playable.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And of course, a lot of people bitch like, it's too easy. It's like, no, it's just the most fair. It's not too easy. It's just not bullshit.
I like the mana system way better than the use system, like they did like in Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, kind of in Bloodborne.
Well, in Bloodborne, everything was rotated on your bullets. And because you had the ability that you could sacrifice health to get 5 blood bullets, so basically it's like as long as you had healing. But also what was really useful is that whenever you use that sacrifice ability, that was rallyable health. So if you were strategic about it, you could basically you could have infinite bullets.
Yeah.
But of course, you only could get 5, and your most powerful spells and abilities cost 6.
Yep.
And then you have like for example like the cannon that costs like
You gotta hope an ad gives you one back.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like Bloodborne was pretty fair, but like there were really only 2 builds, and those 2 builds had like 2 subcategories. You had strength builds and you had skill builds, and then maybe you had Blood Tinge or Arcane on top of one of those 2.
Interestingly enough, my cousin was talking to me about Bloodborne the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I'm only one trophy. The only trophies I have left to get are the Chalice dungeons." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not the person to talk to about that. My roommate Aaron platinumed that game."
Bro, that's that second to last Chalice dungeon where your max HP is cut in half. And you have to fight Ogmigdala, who is just a tank and does so much fucking damage. Because the only weak spots on Ogmigdala are its head, which is not within range, and its arms, which is what it's using to attack you. So if you're using the Blades of Mercy, God help you. I was using fucking Ludwig's Greatsword, so I could do overhead attacks and just hit like 3 arms with a swing.
Yep.
I'm using the Moonlight Greatsword, if I'm not mistaken.
That Moonlight You're not, because the Moonlight Greatsword is a DLC weapon where you have to beat.
No, remember, we went and got it. We went to the dream specifically to get it.
Yeah.
And
it'd be so funny because I had beaten that boss a number of times, and he's a pretty fucking difficult boss. And he's the most difficult boss of the DLC, and he's the first one. So thanks From Software. And it'd just be like the whole time we're going through, and it's just like Koenig would die. It's like, well, waiting for the next round. It took us like 7 tries.
Yeah, like 7 tries.
Because it's hard.
Yeah. Which is hilarious because like it was funny because the whole reason why I went with a tank
and it's a
build,
2-stage boss fight.
Yeah. You know the whole reason why I went with a tank build in Dark Souls 3 was because Aaron was doing a playthrough.
It wasn't the reason. It just happened to coincide that way.
Well, no, that's the reason. That is the reason why I went, because I was like, oh, I want to play with you, and I want to use that character. So it's like, Aaron had a character that was magic.
It was a pure intelligence
build.
Like,
and he was fighting the twin dancers.
The Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Because they attack so fast at so much range, and the arena is so small.
I'm literally over here like, all right, heaviest shield in the game, magic shield. Yeah, my door just does that. It'll close itself.
So the AC turned on. It changed the
It's
air
air
pressure.
pressure, yeah.
It's fucking creepy.
It does that all the time.
No. I literally just hard stopped. Could not beat the dancer.
I'm literally over here like the...
Because it would one-shot me, and it didn't matter what armor I had on at that point in the game, because I was on base HP and base vitality, so it's like, literally all of my points went into intelligence and attunement. I had also some stamina, so more spell casting, but I was the purest iteration of a glass cannon possible in that game.
Yeah, so it was literally like, I'm over here with the tower shield that has 90 poise,
and
then magic shield that gives me an extra 10.
So it makes it 100% poise.
100% poise with a 100% block shield, and so they're just not getting through me.
I mean, you're taking chip damage from the darkened fire on its blades,
Yeah,
but like that's the only damage you're taking.
Yeah, I'm over here just like, all right,
and
hit him!
And I literally have to be like, okay, it's like, all right, I'm about to shoot it with a spell. Prepare to retake aggro.
Yeah.
And so because Dark Souls 3 was my first game, and I originally played it with Aaron.
Yeah, and you need my help to beat the Nameless King, because that guy's just a son of a bitch.
They're bringing back the Nameless King for Night Rain.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, are you excited to fight the Nameless King again? I was like, no!
I am. I'm going to make that bitch ass suffer. Here's the thing. I got Aaron's help to do it, and then after fighting the Nameless King over and over again with Aaron, I could finally beat the Nameless King solo with the proper build. And I'm going to follow that with the proper build.
Yeah, any motherfucker on the internet who says, oh, that boss is not hard if you use this build, go fuck yourself. If I need a specific build to beat a boss...
And no, here's the thing. I got so good at Dark Souls 3 at a point just from playing it repetitively.
Yeah.
Because
like 90% of Souls games is just memory.
The demon hands that you get.
The
weapon.
The demon fist. Yeah.
Yeah, the demon fists that are like arguably probably one of the better strength weapons, but the worst close range weapon to use.
Yeah.
I could use that on bosses and beat them.
Yeah.
I used it on the Nameless King and beat him solo. I activated. And I don't know if he has resistance to flame or not, but it does flame damage. I quite literally got so good at telegraphing his attacks and dodging them that I could use the demon fists to beat the crap out of his dragon when it landed, roll out of the way whenever it did it, made sure I had enough time to heal, and then when the Nameless King did his lightning barrage shit, I, on that run through of the New Game Plus, beat the crap out of him with the demon fists and moved on. In that New Game Plus run, I started playing with my other game friends. We would all go over, LAN hook up our PS4s to go play. And Hermes 2 and Mick Chameleon, who were my buddies we played with, they all started over. I used my New Game Plus run through as the start over. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. There was a video that me and Aaron watched where it was just like Dark Souls for Dummies.
Yes, I love those videos. I'm so sad he didn't complete the series.
Yeah, he basically gives you half the game of a run through of quick. Here's how to grab everything. Did funny little sound effects.
Literally, he makes fun of other Dark Souls walkthroughs. They're like 45 minutes, half an hour and a half videos. It's like a 10-minute video telling you where every item in the area is, difficult enemies, and then the boss.
Easy, and it's not even like it's a skill issue. You can't beat this. No. Here's how you cheese it. Here's how you avoid it. Here's how you get the item without engaging that boss.
Yeah, and there's no spoken dialogue. There's just talking into a microphone.
It's all visual.
And through text on screen if he needs to explain something.
Yeah, so I did exactly that with the run through of the game up until we got to the halfway point, and they all got used to it because we still had to summon each other for the bosses. So we'd fight a boss 3 times. We'd get enough souls from doing that to help us power level through the structure. It made the game. Dark Souls with friends is way easier. Just
almost like it's kind of designed to be played.
Yeah, played multiplayer exactly. So when we get all the way up to the Nameless King, here's where the crash out happened. I could live. My host of Embers could not.
No, yeah, always the issue.
So I'm over there, nerfed in status, nerfed with Estus. I'm over there trying to do my best to keep the dude alive. I literally go reallocate my points to be able to use healing spells. I then go and I'm like, stay alive! Go and fight the Nameless King. Try to get him out of the dragon stage.
Yeah.
Stay alive. Go back and fight the Nameless King again.
Yeah, that's one of the sad things about Dark Souls stories, though. The miracles just aren't that good in that game.
No, they're
which
not. Because
sucks.
it's pitiful health, but it's like he gets hit with every AoE. And this is Mick Chameleon, by the way. Hermes 2 got good enough at the game that he could dodge stuff. But it was when we were doing Mick Chameleon's run through. So our whole goal was like, okay, these bosses target the host. So what we're going to do is we need you to stay alive. We're going to use you as bait. We will steal aggro after beating the crap out of him, because you can steal aggro with enough damage.
Yeah.
Stop.
Hammer time?
Where's the mic?
That's a good question.
Son of a bitch.
You've been
Nice.
sitting on it the whole time.
Hey man, that
So
explains
what do you-
why I had hair in my mouth.
Fuck.
Who knows how long that's been? But honestly, I do think it's
Whatever.
It's we're nearing 3 hours of recording time.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
we're
let's,
good.
yeah.
I'll hand it over to you.
No,
Well,
just
then keep it on
right
you.
for a
Like,
second.
we're still recording. We still need to close out.
Yeah, we still need to close out. All right.
What are we closing out?
So hopefully
Hopefully,
you can
I
hear.
hope you guys enjoyed the sound of Clayton's ass.
literally sitting on
man.
the VOD mic.
It got quite uncomfortable.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Well, you no ending preamble. You're just immediately gunning it.
No, I guess. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
guess
such a
we'll close
random. Like, it's been such a random.
Yeah, this is
podcast.
literally just
It's
us
been-
been like
it's not
just
really-
It's
bouncing,
just us and the boys.
bouncing back.
us the boys
bounce-
chilling. It's
the
bouncing
boys,
back
yeah.
and forth between
the
video games and just our personal lives and
God
the
dang
past,
soups.
telling histories.
Exactly. But I guess like what we can do is.
Oh,
well,
you got the knuckles on your wallpaper.
He knows
Yes.
the way.
If you guys liked this format for the podcast, leave a comment and let us know. We always enjoy seeing comments in the videos.
Previous podcast users probably noticed that for the most part, I especially try to keep us more focused on a single topic involved. This one we just went, and whenever somebody talked, they just kept going until somebody interrupted them, and then we were talking about that. Then
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. So
Like a regular conversation with
Yeah.
friends.
yeah, that's it's because I think those conversations with our group specifically tend to flow a lot better. But this is a bit of an experimental thing. We'll
yeah,
because
because see how the audience responds to what the fuck were we talking about now?
Yeah, exactly. But that is going to do it for us today. Until we see you guys next time.
Until we
see you guys next time. I have been Kodig.
I've been Aaron.
I've been Clayne.
Bye.
I'm a bitch at the time editing this one.
Probably. But it's fun though.
The editing won't be.
I'm catching you.